Godman, hello and greetings. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. The Kimmer Show podcast in full swing. Monday. It's almost December, 28th of November. What the hell
I just took my tree down, and I just put it back up.
I just got yelled at for having my Christmas lights up a couple of months ago from last year, and I got to put them back again. I don't even know if I will. I guess I probably will. Anyway, it's the Kimmer Show with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire. Holy Crap at Sports podcast later today, I'm guessing.
Already did it this morning.
Oh, my God, man. That's fantastic. We'll talk about it in a second when it is to get the highlights. And, of course, we're at the Podcast City here, Mechanical Mangler Flounder at the controls, and he's got a new microphone and an Alexa thing set up so we can ask Alexa questions during the show without using your phone and stuff. So we got all kinds of podcasts.
Yeah, so I ordered a it's called an Echo Dot, and I ordered it for my dad, and it said it was delivered, but it wasn't delivered. So I contacted Amazon, and they sent me a replacement. And so I gave my dad one and got it all set up, and then I was like, sweet, I got a free one.
Yeah, and usually they don't care. They say,
well, no, they care because it's registered.
Ah.
So now they can actually track if you get a replacement or not. So I tried to get it set up, and it wouldn't work, and I was going back and forth with this lady on the text chain, and she was like, oh, it's not registered. You have to pay for this. And I was like, okay, got it. And so I called the customer service. But anyways, it's pretty useful.
Luke is a podcast.
He's stuck.
Oh, he got it out. Claw was stuck halfway down the pillow going into.
They can't hear you. You got to have the mic. Got to have the mic.
Yeah, you're not talking to the microphone.
The podcast.
50 years in broadcasting.
There you go. Well, he's back now. He's on his blanket. Okie dokie. Anyway, I was just taking some video to post later. Don't forget, go to thekimmershow.net. And you can link into various things and look for contacts if you want to get in touch with us. So again, we're just repeating for people.
Just go to contacts, click on that, then scroll down, and the address is right there.
And you can. And again, I'll be checking our post office box later on today. I got a couple of very nice notes I just wrote out. Thank you notes on our new stationery from farmhouseprintingco.com, by the way. We'll talk more about them later in a minute. We got a million things going on here. We're not a newscast, but we do have newsy things. We'll talk about the election, and we'll talk about a lot of stuff of Elon Musk, handguns, some kid violence. He just out of freaking control. A couple of Dear Abby things, some sports stuff. And a couple of little things. First of all, Thanksgiving, Pete. Now you're doing a family thing later, I think, or is it next weekend?
Probably not, because it's Wednesday and we're working Wednesday, so probably not. Because they changed it to a week before, then they changed it to the week after. They didn't tell me either time, really, to the last minute. And so,
I was wondering because they called me to see when you were going to be working and not available, so I guess maybe that had. Oh, sorry, no,
that's probably it. I mean, seriously, they didn't contact me when they made the plans, and when they changed the plans, and when they changed the plans again. So obviously, I'm extraneous, so it doesn't matter if I'm there or not.
Oh well, that's well. You want to do something different? Or?
That would mean you two having to screw up your schedule at this late date.
I have doctors. I mean, tomorrow
it's
I can't.
It's up to you two.
Unless you do it tomorrow night or something, but I can't.
We could do a Tuesday show or a Thursday show instead, or we can do it Wednesday. I don't care.
Well, now I don't know what to do. I mean, you should have a.
Well, let's worry about this show, and we'll figure that out later.
Right.
Yeah, I ain't worried about it.
Well, I've got okay. Well, anyway, that sucks. I mean, why do they? Anyway, whatever. Families,
I'll see him Christmas. It's only 3 weeks away.
Yeah, I know. Well, anyway, whatever. We'll figure something out. You mentioned earlier I have not tried to early vote yet. It's open, but I didn't go Saturday the first day, and so I'll go drive by the early voting place near me every day this week and see.
Fire a few shots off.
If I can find a parking spot, I'll go in there. If there's no parking spot, I'm not going to stand in line for 3 hours. I'll just keep waiting until I actually go whatever. Let's see. Now, so Thanksgiving, a lot of football, I'm guessing, and just goofing off and take a trip or anything, or driving.
I cooked, ate, watched football, and napped on a continuous cycle.
Yeah, okay.
A continuous loop. I went and got the tree on Wednesday, like I always do, because you want to light it up Thanksgiving night. It's the Atlanta tradition.
You get a full 6-foot tree, or
yeah. Well, I go to the same guy every year, and this guy was Jeffrey Dahmer. Sold me my tree.
Oh my!
I'm there. It's just me and him. And I'm looking, he looks like him, he talks like him, he's acting like him, he's firing up the chainsaw. Thank God there are people driving by, so if he guts me with it, they will see.
And
he literally looked like and sounded like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Ironically, You're going to be hearing the words Jeffrey Dahmer a little bit later on in the podcast.
Okay. I still haven't finished that miniseries, too.
Oh, my God.
It's getting creepier and creepier.
Yeah, well, you know the ending anyway, but still. Is it over, or you just haven't watched it?
I just haven't watched it
Okay,
yet.
but it's done, right?
Yeah, it's done.
okay.
It's on
So
Netflix.
I put my tree up.
I don't see it. Sir.
Yeah, I had to take it down because of this guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
of
my
course. Of course.
I mean, he started playing with it, gnawing on it, almost fell twice. I was like, this is not going to
Yeah,
work.
Well, you can
that's
tie
not gonna
it
work.
to something and make it
Well, I'm
stay
not going to
up.
mess with it this Christmas because he's a kitten.
He can't help it. He's going to jump in the tree.
So, but I'll figure
And in fact, my little friend Gretchen sent a meme. There's a meme going around of a picture of somebody that nailed their Christmas tree upside down to the ceiling. And the cats are still trying to jump on it from the couches. But I've had cats my whole life, and that's what they do. I mean, they'll get in there and if you put ornaments on it, it's over. I mean, they're bing, 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 bing. You know.
We were in bed one night. It sounded like the Hulk, crashed through the living room, and we jumped up and ran out. And the two cats are sitting there looking.
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
I'm glad you're here. The tree tried to kill us.
I had to fight back. Oh, mercy. Let's see. Flounder, what about your Thanksgiving? Over at Dad's house, I'm guessing?
Went to my dad's house, and the niece and nephew came over, my brother and his wife, Kelly, and then my dad's sister, my Aunt Kay and Uncle Bo were in town as well. And
Where are they down in Florida?
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Oh, excellent. Nice.
So they retired right outside of Charlotte. So it was a nice, fun-packed weekend.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time over there throughout the week.
Like
so
normal families do. Get together on
regular-
Thanksgiving.
Regular
Right.
families.
Yeah.
Well,
I wish I had one of those.
well, I remember those days. I used to have a pretty wife and a great house, but that was. And money. I had a pretty
And
wife,
money.
a mansion, a pretty wife, and
Land.
money.
You were
Oh, my
landed gentry.
God. What a downfall.
You were king of your own castle.
I'm doing a podcast for minimum wage. And you two sinking in the boat with me. Sorry, boys.
Glub, glub, glub.
Oh, God. Anyway.
The SS Minnow of podcasting.
Yes, apparently. And over Thanksgiving, I've mentioned my little friend Gretchen before. She and her late husband were very close friends with John and Cher, who are friends I've known for years because they used to play golf with John up at Brookfield Country Club anyway, and they were radio listeners years ago, and that's how I got to know all the folks. And Gretchen, my little friend Gretchen, still kind of takes care of me, brings me food and stuff, and she supplies me with Thanksgiving stuff, and so does Cher. So I had stuffing and several different kinds of mashed potatoes and gravy and about 8 pounds of turkey dark meat I gained 6 freaking pounds from Wednesday night to today. 6 pounds.
Good for you. You need to gain weight, though.
But still, although I'm gonna try to keep it on, I'm really gonna work.
No, you need to gain a little.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I thought that was I couldn't believe it. And they say, you gain weight. I'm a cliche. I exactly gained 6 pounds.
I noticed I put my belt and my pants on, and I sat down to eat breakfast. It was like, ooh.
Ouch.
I haven't had a belt on in a week.
Anyway, I thought that was kind of weird. Now, speaking of the Christmas tree and stuff, is it time for decorations?
Oh,
After
yeah.
Thanksgiving, you go, right?
I trimmed last night because I was feeling down for some reason. Like, at the end of the holiday and something like that. I was feeling a little down. I'm sitting there going, well, I'll go get the stuff and I'll trim the tree. I'll put some Dean Martin Christmas music on.
There you
and
go.
by the time I was finished, I was happy again.
Yeah.
So
I would put on like Mormon Tabernacle Choir Christmas carols. I mean, the Little Drummer Boy by Mormon Tabernacle Choir. If that doesn't make you weep,
I got to figure out some stuff to put out there because I can't put my tree out there. So I got to go to Home Goods or something and find some lights I can put on the fire mantle and stuff like that. But usually it's just I have the tree and the tree is perfect amount for my.
what'd
my
you do with
space.
your tree?
I put it back in my closet.
Oh, it's okay. One of those. All right.
Back in the closet, eh? That's what she said. Anyway.
So I'll probably swing by Home Goods this week and pick up some just decorative
Lobby.
stuff.
Yeah, I'll put Christmas lights on the railing on my deck, and I've got some
I did that
bushes
last
out
night,
there. I did it last year, so I'll probably do the same thing. A couple of items. By the way, I wish if we were TV, I would demand that we play this. The video, I think you sent it. We sent it to you, me and Flounder too. You sent the video of a Russian describing how public parks are dangerous to
Oh, no,
children.
it was. I sent that. It was some guy from Australia.
Oh,
just
my
a funny,
God.
a funny safety video.
It was, they've got a good look. I mean, it's horror. It's you can. He had like a life-size child doll, like a 2.5 foot, 3 foot doll. Looked like a child. Did you see the video?
Mm-hmm.
And
if it's
he
on,
said
if I send a Twitter link, I'll put it on our. I'll put it
Oh
on our
my
page.
God! And it was a satire pretending to show the dangers of a playground, of the jungle gym set and his swings. And he'd say, "See the boy hit head, bang!" And he slammed his head into the bar. Oh, he fall down playing, bang down. I mean, I'm just laughing. I was going to wet my pants of child abuse. I mean, it was the damnedest thing I ever saw. And I mean, it's honestly, if you want to have a good laugh and a really kinky sense of humor, you can't help but laugh at what he's doing, and it's just awful.
You never felt better about yourself as a kid. As you got to the top of that jungle gym thing, those metal bars, you say, "I'm here. I'm on top of the world."
Yeah.
And then
now
you fell.
Yeah.
And you're a human pachinko ball going all the way
bang,
down.
Boom, you have elbows and knee. Yeah. That's not.
No pads, nothing.
All right, I'm retweeting it on Kimmer's Twitter page. So if you go to @Kimmer Show, it's on there.
Freaking hysterical, in a bad way. I mean, you can't help but laugh, but it's obviously cruel and hideous. A couple of things. I mentioned I went to the post office box, which is on. You can go to thekimmershow.net and contacts and get the address for that. And so I got a couple of notes, and I went to put a couple of checks in the bank today at Wells Fargo. And once again, I went to the one near here where Flounder lives, as opposed to one where I live. And they're all the drive-throughs are now shut down. So I waited in line, and it happens every time. I go into the bank, and the guy in front of me goes up to the teller, and he's standing there. And all of a sudden, you hear the machine, and it's he's, oh my God, he's counting out like payroll for his company or something. Oh, I'll be here all freaking day. So I mean, it took forever. Machine. So finally, I get to the thing, and I say, I just want to make a deposit for a couple of. I mean, it really was like a few dollars. Deposit. That was it. And I said to the guy, "Are you going to do drive-throughs at various times?" He said, "Oh no, we're not going to do that anymore." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I said, you mean you're not going to have them open any more drive-throughs? Or done?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Is this the whole company?" He said, "Yeah, pretty much. Eventually, they're going to all shut down." I said, "How is it possible that you don't, every time I go to a drive-thru, there's at least a couple of cars and there's 3 or 4 open or something?" And he said, "I said, well, wait, nobody uses them."
It's going to be online.
It's unbelievable.
Your phone.
Yeah, you can pretty much deposit checks. You can do everything.
Yeah, but
with your
I want a receipt. My bag of stuff for this year
it.
is I take a receipt that I get from the bank guy and put it in my bag of tax stuff.
Right.
So when we make out our tax with Cindy, I'll have every damn receipt of every check and every stuff as evidence and stuff, and it's unbelievable. So now I got to go wait in line to put a deposit in the bank.
Well, no, the thing is again. Once you do the transaction, you get an email. You print that email out, and that is your receipt.
Well, I don't have a printer, so I guess you got to go get a printer now. No, I mean, it's just it's one thing. You know what? It's
Helps
just
the
another
economy.
thing. Huh?
And you're like, you always get behind Dr. Jerry Buss, who's doing his business for the Lakers or something.
I know. It's unbelievable. I'm always in the wrong line, too. I mean,
I've got
always.
the payroll for Magic Johnson here. I need to count it.
God. I'm going, the son of a bitch.
Ted Turner's in front of you.
As soon as I heard that machine, I'm going, oh, crap. Oh, damn it. I think I said that out loud. I turned around and said, oh, son of a... Oh.
You're like Jackie Gleason at the bank.
I know. It's to the moon, Alice.
For crying out loud. Norton. Yeah, it's like the guy in front of you is always Norton.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Hey, Ralphie boy. Hello, ball. Anyway, just freaking bizarre stuff. So I couldn't, no more bank drive-thrus. I mean, it's just, at least for Wells Fargo.
With no more of the putting the pneumatic tube, go thump.
Yeah. I mean,
like
it was
that.
fun. It was the thing, Anyway, whatever.
You never could park close enough. You always had to reach.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned I'm going to try voting, and all of a sudden, are you getting these too? I'm getting text messages from political organizations.
All from the left
every day.
You got one from that reptile.
This one says Ralph Reed
that
here.
Asshole.
So I want to pay attention to Ralph Reed. Who's using Ralph Reed as a spokesman?
He's still alive?
Ralph Reed here. The eyes of the nation are upon Georgia. Early vote today. Your voter guide TTWS FFC FYI G2X. And then at Vote Lock, LOC, and then it's MVP SOSGA Gov. But again, I don't know whose organization's got Ralph Reed. I don't want to go. I don't represent Ralph Reed.
Back in the 90s, I had him come in, and with his entourage, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a handshake. We're on camera. We can do it. Here's Ralph Reed's handshake. Yeah, that's what he did.
Little dead fish thing
This
from
dead
the
fish,
tips.
cold, clammy, dead fish.
Jeez, God. But anyway, why would they use Ralph Reed? That's not going to make me go
that
vote.
Sure as hell won't make me vote.
You know, in fact, you mentioned, tell the little people what you mentioned as soon as we sat down about watching TV ads.
These ads that Warnock, the supposed preacher, man of God, Jesus follower, that's his running in his name. Herschel, have you seen the one where someone asked him a question about vampires and he's making jokes about vampires? They're running that in a grainy ad that looks like it's from 1964, or 1963, the grassy knoll. That's what they're running, making it look like. And they have these little white yuppies on the other side wearing headphones, listening to it, rolling their eyes and making catty remarks and everything. It's like you just want to reach through the TV and just punch them in the fucking face.
And you mentioned Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night a couple weeks ago, making fun of Herschel and everything. Like,
brutal.
We give a damn what New Yorkers think about how we vote.
I know. Well, honestly, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. I still can't believe that George is responsible for the last 2 years. Everything that this administration's done and gotten away with is because Georgia allowed 2 liberal senators to be able to vote.
Well, the Republican Party put up 2 lousy candidates.
And the Republican Party has been screwing up for 40 years.
Well, that's their job.
You know, since they've nominated Barry Goldwater. I mean, who didn't know that?
70 years ago.
So anyway, yeah, that's right. It's been long. Oh my God, it's been 60 years. I still can't think that 1992 is 30 years ago.
I know. Clinton. That's unbelievable.
I mean, that's hard to believe. Anyway, this business with voting, and I'm nervous. I'm nervous about it. I'm afraid we're going to lose this one too. What's the matter? You put Kitty in a box?
No, I gotta just put it out. I forgot because he's got to get used to it because I got to put him in there Friday.
Oh,
time
guys,
out.
This week he's going to get his
he's got
nuts
to get
chopped off.
Oh no.
Well, he's got to do it. It's
Merry
best
Christmas.
for him. Well, you've got to do it, or else he'll pee all over the house and never stop.
No jingle balls for him this year.
No, sir. Not
By the way, no jingle balls for you-know-who. Brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets.
Yes.
ClosetPro.net, 404-255-0589. That's Atlanta Custom Closets. It's still time to get your loved one what she really wants. And what she wants is a closet. Believe me, women love closets.
That's right, and you can make a little love note inside a box or something, so she can open it for Christmas, and a little certificate of something. Really, they love stuff like that.
do.
You know, they just love stuff like that. Treat your, if you, it's not going to work. I mean, it'll work for a while, but then she'll turn on you like always. But the more romantic.
Are you projecting?
Well, last year you wrote me 12 love notes. You only wrote me 9 this year. All right, I could have counted. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sure I was wrong in some way. But
Stop projecting and finish the ad.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think I'll get a girlfriend. Let's see what's happening over at the old folks' home.
I almost spit tech on that one.
Yeah, you and me both. Anyway, a couple things. Oh, all right, for the record. Tuesday, as last week was Thanksgiving week, and Tuesday we did the show Tuesday instead of our normal Wednesday and took Friday off. So the boys here decided I thought you were just kidding. The boys here, so I think it was Flounder might have started, and said, "Oh, you know what we ought to do? We ought to play the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald for the whole podcast Wednesday." And I'm going,
That would have been Mr. Pete's idea. Kind of just.
Pete's okay, I wasn't quite sure. Let's give full credit to Pete.
Give credit where credit is due.
Son of a bitch. Oh, my God. The comments were
Yeah, I got some too.
Donnie wrote, donated some cheeseburgers through Venmo on the condition you never play the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald again. Sean said, you owe me a cheeseburger for making me listen to your Thanksgiving show and supersize it. I mean, that was...
Donnie, I was surprised to see that there was a Wednesday podcast. So I thought, great, we'll listen to it on the way home from Savannah.
Yeah.
A couple of observations. Number one, you got to love that long version of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Two, I'm always telling people to check out you guys' podcast.
Yeah.
I hope this is not the one they decided to check out.
And Flounder was saying,
Yeah. So when I was putting this all together, I had everything. I produced everything, and then I uploaded it, and then I scheduled it for the next day because I was going to be at my dad's house, and so I scheduled it, and then I started going into some wormholes on Twitter, and I had hit the play button on my software. And after 7 minutes, I'm like, what the fuck is playing? And I was listening to it. I was like, Jesus.
There are guys who run and say, I listened for 9 minutes waiting for you to...
Somebody said, it's not playing on Google Podcast. It's just playing this song over and over.
Yeah. Well, again, that was not my idea. That was cold, man. Oh, Lordy.
I don't feel... I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry. Let's see. All right, now... A couple things. Remember Tuesday? I mentioned on the Tuesday podcast that I had a raging toothache. Oh. Whenever a man says I have a raging,
don't
stop
pause.
him right there. I've had a raging toothache. This was last week. And I mentioned that, remember I had the 3 implant things, and that was like 8 months of a nightmare. I'm still biting my tongue occasionally. But anyway, so it's raging toothache. And so I called the dentist's office, and they said, well, he's open till 6 tonight because we got the vacation. We're not open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Thanksgiving week, obviously. But if you can get in here at 5 o'clock, we will work you in. I thought, oh, man, that's great. I get a call at 4:41. The dentist got called away on an emergency. And so I'll have to reschedule your appointment. I said, okay. So I've had a raging toothache since like Sunday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I was going to see him Tuesday and can't. My next appointment will be not Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Okay. So tomorrow I finally go in to hopefully to solve my raging toothache. Not that I even know I can solve it. If it's because I have a tooth that's gone bad, they're going to have to take it out of there, which means another week of waiting for a surgeon and all that. I mean, I'm going nuts here. I'm hoping it's some kind of gum disease or just a cavity.
Peritonitis.
I swear to God, I hope it's peritonitis. So so I can.
That Greek guy.
Root canal. Just give
Peritonitis.
Me a root canal. Give me. Didn't he take over from Aristotle Onassis? The Greek shipping food. Peritonitis. Famous singing group.
Nice to meet you.
Perry and the Oneidas is right here. Anyway, so I'm hoping it's a disease or maybe cancer or something simple that I can take care of. Anyway, so now I'm popping. I've been taking Tylenol. In fact, I have to get 2 more bottles. I'm taking. I don't know. I checked it out. It comes out to something like 8 pills every 40 minutes, something like that.
Your liver is good.
Yeah. Well, I can't. Tooth. I mean, it's not like I'm being set on fire.
Get the
so I'm not being
Oragel.
tortured.
It works. It numbs everything, but it works.
Well,
get it up there. Oragel.
Can you get that over the thing?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to try that too. But and again, and the other thing is my ear rockets. My $50,000 hearing ear rockets. Yeah. Well, they don't. My app doesn't work anymore. They don't set the thing. I can't tell the thing. It doesn't show the battery's working for my left one. I mean, it's a freaking nightmare. So now I've got to call, and of course they haven't called me back because I'm sure they don't work on Mondays.
They called you back. You just didn't hear it.
No. Well, another good point. Very possible. So now my next time off, I'm going to be spending time in the dentist's office and the doctor's office, and my whole life is like this. It's unbelievable.
That's what happens.
I don't get old. I mean, I'm falling apart a piece at a time. My eyes are going. I got to go back to the eye doctor.
Jimmy Dean had it right. Drive that Porsche into the oncoming truck.
Go fast, baby. I'm serious. I can get that thing up to 200 in no time. I think I'll do 82nd gear. Anyway. I'm miserable because I'm always, I can't hear, I can't see, and I'm in pain. But other than that, I'm really fine.
Does your face hurt?
Yeah, it's hurt killing
it's
you.
Killing
I know.
Me.
Yeah. I wish I'd get it over with. Anyway, I'm trying to keep a good attitude, but I hate. It's funny. Little things like this. All of a sudden, God, my shoulder. It's just stuff. It's just stuff.
Every day there's something else.
Yeah. And it's just, and I get Christmas and stress, and I'm going nuts, and I make sure the kids, and I got it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just.
Put your tree up and trim it. Play a little music, and you'll feel much better.
Oh, I believe me. I'm not complaining about my life. I'm still the luckiest guy I know. even though it's not going to end well. But I'm still, over the whole
not
sphere of
ending well.
over the whole sphere of my life, I'm one of the luckiest guys I've ever known. I've had a great life. In fact, I should die tomorrow just because I've had so much goodness that that it's been a good thing. You don't want to have like a nightmare the last 10 years. So anyway.
Well, they say you get 10, you'll live 10 years longer, but those are the worst years.
Yeah, the worst years of your life. Why would you do that? If I could know that, then fine. Anyway, so that's the latest on my physical stuff, and it's just one thing after another, but we're smiling. We're having fun. We're smiling. Let's see. An erection, a thing.
Cindy says, "This is a good attitude."
You'd see me smiling, Cindy.
This is a good attitude.
She sent us a donation the other. Cindy with a Y,
Cindy,
right?
Cindy, don't do that.
Cindy with a Y sent us a donation.
Cindy, you do our taxes. That's all.
right. Well, she said it's tax deductible for her.
Charity.
Yeah, charity. Anyway, a couple things.
Oh, by the way, speaking of which, thank you to, and this is just a few. We try and get as many as we can. Anthony, Michael, Jason, and Tracy for sending to Venmo and everything. Thank you very much. We really do appreciate it.
In fact, there was somebody else too. Did you mention Donnie? Donnie paid a couple of cheeseburgers on the condition never play the. I mentioned that one. Anthony sent us a very nice donation for his family, and Michael another very, very nice. Jason, I think you might have mentioned some of these guys. Tracy. Yeah. Through Venmo, and again, Wade, Ferdinand, just really, I promise you it helps. We're really trying to keep this going and actually, have a living on it.
Unfortunately, try and keep it under 300 so the government doesn't come after us.
I'm pretty sure no one's going to give us $300.
Because that's what's happening is with what the IRS is doing with PayPal and Venmo.
That's
is
right.
anything over
300 agents they want to put in there. Unbelievable.
Bitches.
Anyway. Let's see.
Oh, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Is the name in 2022?
$600. I'm sorry, $600.
Yeah, 600. Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Is a great. Yeah, come on. Hey, what's your Ferdinand?
Ferdinand.
The ladies swoon when you say, "I'm Ferdinand."
Ferdinand. All you have to do is Ferdinand.
Or Fernando.
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand. That's a great name.
I love it. Over the weekend, there was a major marathon of West Wing. I think the whole 4 or 5 years.
I watched that all weekend, and did you notice what commercial would come on every single time?
Was
Raphael Warnock.
The
The same commercial, too, every single time.
Wasn't this headline news?
Yeah, HLN.
Okay, what if
Which
Fox,
I guess is headline news.
What
right?
if Fox Business Channel decided to run Tim Allen's Last Man Standing conservative-leaning show over and over through the whole weekend?
Well, I have to. Isn't headline news as part of CNN, right?
Yes.
Well, CNN's dying. They got nothing. I mean, they're laying off all their staff.
Yeah.
They've. I mean, there was another story in this morning. The staff people who are still left saying we're all getting fired. I mean, it's over. CNN is just. I mean, again, they did that. CNN Plus lasted 14 days or something.
Go woke, go broke.
Yeah. So I guess they were trying to get people to watch CNN.
And you hear that the guy who came in there they were supposed to be making it objective again. Said that all this talk about us leaning centrist is effing BS. Yeah. They're doubling down on it.
I know. Anyway, I did a couple of observations when it was on, and again, I've got to take more pills. I'm sorry, it's just Tylenol. But I'm dying. Every hour.
I had those 800 ones. If you told me, I would have brought you one of those.
Well, I'm just taking 9
That's
of them.
an all-day baby right there.
These are 500 milligrams. I'll take 9 of them.
500? They better not be 500.
Yeah.
Yeah,
aren't they?
Yes. They're 500 milligrams. They're only supposed to be 200.
Well, if 2 is good, 4's got to be better, and if 4 is good, then 8's got to be really good. I mean, that's the way.
That's what my nurse girlfriend used to tell me all the time.
Oh, sure, take some more. Probably no problem. Anyway, West Wing, which again was 22 or 23 years ago. Started, I think, in '99. Anyway, I know you never watched it. I did.
So did I. And the funny thing is when I watched it, I was not as politically informed.
Right.
So going back and watching it, Holy
I want to make
it's propaganda. It's all propaganda.
Well, no, wait a minute. But you never saw it.
But I know who did it.
Okay.
And the guy who did
Aaron Sorkin.
Aaron Sorkin.
That guy is just.
He did The American President, which was a good movie.
It's good, but he writes as what liberals think they sound like.
Right.
Nobody talks like
Right.
that.
Well, anyway, but in terms of the production of the TV series The West Wing, it was brilliantly done. It was a great series. It had all the elements of dialogue.
And to Pete's point,
I mean, it was a very different kind of series.
And the script was never improv.
Right.
Like to every verb, adjective was written for each character.
But my recollection when I saw it was on, so I'll tape a bunch of these, and I watched a whole bunch of them.
I watched it throughout the whole weekend.
I watched a bunch of them. And my recollection was when I first saw it, again, this was more than 20 years ago, and I enjoyed it as a series. Obviously, it was supporting the liberals, but I didn't really react much to the political theme of it. I was really enjoying the characters. I like Sam Seaborn, and when they had the little hot blonde who became the CSI girl. She was on there for a season or so. I mean, they had some really good characters and some good plots.
Toby was a great character, I thought.
It was an entertaining show to me, but I really didn't think that much about it politically for whatever reason, because I was back at that point I was a radio talk show host. But I wasn't doing a political podcast or something. Anyway, when I started watching it this time, a couple of things really, really hit me. First of all, it is so schmaltzy. I mean, oh my God. They have, Josiah Bartlett, the president, is talking about on Thanksgiving, he says, and we were there and looked up to the stars and touched the hand of God. And
he's like a huge history buff as president.
Yes. I mean, the whole thing was, in terms of the schmaltziness of it and the just over syrupy yuck duck.
Did they have a lot of, as one person said, and this was a liberal, said, there's a lot of white man-splaining going on, where you have a white man standing in the room like Jeff Daniels did on that news show and basically explain everything to everybody in the room.
And again, it was all themes. They would have a theme on discrimination of American Native Indians for Thanksgiving. They would do a theme on...
There was the one that was on post 9/11 where the employee they interviewed, he was Islam, or it was Islamic or something like that. So, and his name popped up in a register, and he'd worked at the White House. And this was right after 9/11.
So they would have to explain, and they would say, well, the issue here, and it was like telling the audience what the whole issue is.
Mansplaining.
Mansplaining. But the thing that really got me was how I almost got I was getting angry because this time around when I was watching them, because of the politics of it, and I thought, you dirty, stinking phonies, you lousy, lying crock of shit. Over oh my God, everything that came out of their mouths was just wrong, It's
like watching it now, it's a completely different show.
I mean, oh my God, I was so freaking angry about it because of what's going on in the country now. And again, but I'm flabbergasted that I never felt that way before. I just kind of, went along with whatever they were doing. Of course, it was the Clinton days and stuff. And all of a sudden now, because of what's happened in our country since Trump, really, for the last 6 years, really 5-6 years, I was so angry at the whole theme of all this phony crap about what they want for America and the wrong. I mean, I couldn't believe
the indoctrination began before Trump. Hell, they were doing it to us kids in the 70s with MASH.
I know.
MASH is the second most overrated show of all time. The first 3 years were great, and then they decided to start preaching to us for the last 6 or 7.
When they changed Harry Potter, was it
when they brought in the BJ Summer suck up or something, whatever his name, that Mike Farrell. Mike Farrell, one of the worst actors of all time.
Yeah. Anyway, but here's the other thing. The bottom line to me was, for some reason, on shows like this, I tend to remember dialogue of funny, weird dialogue things. You didn't see the show. Do you remember Flounder? Do you remember when do you see when the little blonde girl from CSI?
She's a Republican lawyer who came to work.
Lawyer.
Yeah.
When she first started there. Like the first day, she had a bad run-in with some Democrat guys because she's Republican, and they put some dead flowers in her office, and she was talking about the guy who played in Night Court.
Harry?
No, the other one, the lawyer from Night Court, the big dark-haired guy,
John Larroquette.
John Larroquette.
John
John
Larroquette.
Larroquette played the chief lawyer for the White House, and the chief lawyer for the White House was arguing with a little blonde girl, and he said, "You sound like you're something from HMS Pinafore," and she said, "No, it's." Or she said it's from HMS Pinafore. He said it's from some other
Gilbert and Sullivan.
Yeah, Gilbert and Sullivan thing, and so. I mean, just as a setup, and then here's the point. Sam was defending the girl and saying, "No, counselor, you're wrong. It's from HMS Pinafore." And he said, "No, you're wrong." And Sam said, "Now wait a minute. Are you going to argue with a guy who was actually the chairman of the Gilbert and Sullivan Society in college?" And I remember the original dialogue from 22 years ago. What John Larroquette said was, "No, I don't know that. Of course, I'm also not a 12-year-old girl." You know what he said in the dialogue this time? When Sam said, "Well, are you going to argue with a guy who was the head of the social bit of the Gilbert and Sullivan Society?" And he said, "No."
Oh, so they cut it out?
They edited out that he wasn't
Unreal.
a 12-year-old girl. That was so offensive in today's audience from 23 years ago. Oh, my God. I couldn't believe it. But again, I remembered the dialogue because it was perfect.
Change history. That's what they do.
But I mean, it was perfect because he said, "Oh, you know the Gilbert and Sullivan." He said, "Well, I'm not a 12-year-old girl either," which was a perfect sarcastic line. I don't. And again, they had to edit that out. I saw you freaking phony. I mean, it's just, God, I can't believe it. And these are the people who want to be in charge of information.
Yeah.
The liberals, they were so afraid of offending 12-year-old girls. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And I remembered the line. I thought, and that's why it struck me. I said, "Oh my God, they edited out. No, but I'm not a 12-year-old girl either."
Well, did you see over the Thanksgiving weekend, the Washington Post and New York Times is like they're working in tandem, pressuring Apple and Google to take Twitter off their app.
I know.
And some lady wrote, "Elon, if they take you off your app," well, she jokingly said, "Will you come up with your own phone app and everything like that?" He says, "I sure will."
Yeah.
You think he won't?
In fact,
and he'll use his satellites to bounce the signals off of.
That could be the plan. But he sent out a meme about that and said something like, "It's really important that we make sure we have freedom of speech by censoring freedom of speech," or something. That's what they're talking about.
That was the Washington Post basically coming out, and they all quoted the same person who turns out to be a trans.
Yeah.
Born a woman, transcends the man, but wants to be known as a woman still. So now they're putting insanity on top of insanity.
Well, I'm going to talk more about Musk in a minute. One of the great memes just came out was. In fact, I got.
And by the way, he used Twitter to threaten the Supreme Court justices with violence. Violence every time they stepped in public is asking the Washington Post, New York Times to stop Twitter because people could use it to promote violence.
Right. I mean, again, the hypocrisy of, and we keep saying it. They are attacking people for doing what they're doing.
Right. Projecting.
I mean, how clear can you be?
It's right out of Saul Alinsky's book of how you do that.
Memes. I've got my phone exploded with these memes. "Dear trans community, don't tell me I have to accept you for who you are when you couldn't accept yourself for who you were."
Right. You're right.
I mean, duh.
And on that, you can't say anything about fat people anymore because they're in love with their body. You're supposed to be body positivity, right?
I'm all for it. If you want to be there, feel
so
good about yourself.
If these kids are saying, "I feel uncomfortable as a boy, I feel uncomfortable as a girl," how about saying, "No, you should feel positive about your body," instead of saying, "No, you should chop off parts of your body."
Right.
What makes more sense?
Yeah, as a child. Yeah. And in fact, I think Tucker again had the other night, and more people are now talking about these children's hospitals who are allowing surgery to change genders with parents' permission.
I'm telling you, these kids who are now old enough to say, whoa, I shouldn't have done that, should be suing the hell out of all of them.
Oh, my God. Anyway.
And their parents.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, how could you even how could the topic of discussion ever start at the dinner table? I mean, Mom, I think I'd rather be a girl. Oh, okay, hon, let's talk about it and see some videos.
Yeah, I'm a tomboy, so therefore I need to cut my breasts off.
Brutal. Let's see. Oh, the Musk situation. A couple things on Elon Musk. Alyssa Milano. I got the biggest kick out of this. Which is
so stupid. I feel dumber. Just you mentioning her name, I feel
I know,
dumber.
I'm sorry. And again, she was so hot as a 14-year-old girl, and then when she was
no, not as a 14-year-old girl.
18.
well,
Say 18.
She was a 24-year-old girl.
At least 7.
A
Come on, man.
24-year-old girl. But stupid and just anyway, whatever. But she if you didn't hear that, I'll make it brief. She said on Twitter, she said, I gave back my Tesla. Big supporter of Democrats. I bought a VW EV. I love it. I'm not sure how advertisers can buy space on Twitter. Publicly traded companies' products being pushed in alignment with hate and white supremacy doesn't seem to be a winning business model. So Twitter users said, excuse me, you know that Volkswagen was literally founded by Nazis and Hitler.
Yeah, seriously. Hitler helped design it.
The people's car.
Yeah.
He wrote those. He did
That's
the
what
sketch.
it means.
It's
Volkswagen.
called the people's car. And somebody said, wait till you learn who founded Volkswagen. Another one, the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire tweeted, Lutz, the beginnings of the state-sponsored automotive company during Hitler's reign in Germany. Douglas, imagine thinking you're woke and owning Elon Musk by trading your American-made car for one literally founded by Nazis. I mean, it's just one after another.
And I'll tell you right now, if he comes up with his own phone, this is going in the trash
I'll do
the
it in
next
a
day.
minute.
Yeah.
No refund, no. I'd throw it in the garbage and start over.
I don't care if it has half the things that this thing has.
Yeah.
You don't use most of the things that this thing has.
I don't use any of it.
I did find something neat last night. I was playing around with the compass, and the compass tells you exactly what your elevation is, exactly where you are on planet Earth, up to the inches where you are on planet Earth. Have you seen that?
A compass?
There's a compass.
We say compass.
I say
compass.
I say compass.
It's compass.
It's a compass. Anyway, here's. Have you ever checked it? Look at that. Right now, we're at 920 feet elevation. We're actually lower than at my place. Of course, I'm three floors up. I wonder if they take that into account. That I'm three floors.
GPS probably can go by the foot. They probably do.
So it doesn't matter what the ground is. It's where you literally are.
Remember to find when you go home, see if it makes a difference.
So I'm literally 100 feet lower here than I am at my place, which makes sense. That's 3 floors, right? About that.
The floor's about 12 feet
Well, look, it has down to the inch exactly where you are on planet Earth. I thought that was pretty neat.
Man, that's freaking scary. And is that an app or?
Yeah, it's right there on your phone. It should be right. It
Do I
should
have
look
one?
like you should. Yeah, that's one of the ones that
think I
comes
have
with
that.
the phone.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Wow,
one.
did they take it off the new ones?
Let's see. All right, and that's a black square. Is that what you're looking at?
It looks like a compass.
Well, I will check right now.
Compass.
Is that it? That's not it. No.
You don't. Let me see it again.
I got one more to check. No, I don't have it.
Wow, they must have taken it off the new ones.
I'll be damned. Anyway, and one more thing with Elon Musk. You know this twitty little skank, Massachusetts Democrat Ed Markey. He shows up once in a while on TV.
He
He's
threatens
just a
Elon.
slimy little scumbag. And he had someone fake being him and tried to set up Elon Musk to show that he shouldn't be putting hate speech on. So well, Ed Markey is a senator from Massachusetts, Democrat, a big feud. And he says, Elon Musk is not taking my demands seriously. He tweeted that Musk had refused to respond to his formal letter sent out November 11th regarding answers regarding Musk's plan to combat disinformation on Twitter. After he said he has not formally responded, he tweeted, Elon Musk could respond to my tweets, but failed to respond to my letter by our deadline and answer basic questions about Twitter verification. Congress must end the era of failed... God, love this. Congress must end the era of failed big tech self-regulation and pass laws that put user safety over the whims of billionaires. My God, that's what it is now. What do you think Jeff Bezos is doing? I mean, all these guys... Oh, my God. Again, they are attacking what they're doing and pretending it's somebody else. So Markey attacked Musk after working a Washington Post reporter impersonating the senator. Social media users attacked Markey, saying, "You know, he's just not that into you."
Quit trying to date him.
A PJ Media columnist, Stacey Lennox, said he opposes voter ID, but is super concerned about a blue check on Twitter. Insane. An editor for J.C. Tusil, a reasoning editor. We should all be free to ignore pissy little government officials like Senator Markey. You were meant censoring people and ideas you disagree with, like Republicans, since you can't censor through proxies at Twitter. You want Congress to do your dirty work? Again, that's exactly the case. Twitter and Elon are free to make decisions you don't like, and you're free to use another service. We don't need new laws and regulations every time you have a bad day, which is exactly the point. And again, Elon is just, to me, he's going to. I think maybe I'll bet he has all this worked out. I'll bet he's already come up with like a chess master.
He's 3D
Yeah,
chess.
he's like 5 moves ahead.
I'll bet he's already got everything set up
Like
for
that
his
woman
whole
said,
new.
will you do a phone? He goes, oh, hell yeah, I'll do a phone. He's already thought
You don't
about
think
it.
he hasn't figured that? He's probably got the plans. And what's to stop him?
Mark-
Is there a federal regulation?
Mark says the man built a spaceship you can fly to Mars and back. I think he could build a cell phone.
Yeah.
The man put a Tesla in space.
Yeah.
With a dummy sitting behind the wheel driving it.
That's it.
I mean, come on.
I know, hard to believe. A couple things over the weekend. My Sarah's family, Sarah, Dan, and the kids, and they take Jennifer with her and my favorite ex-wife and her husband, and they rent a cottage or a cabin or something up in the mountains, and they go hiking and have fun on Thanksgiving and do stuff like that. And they also this year took along the Red Ryder BB guns that I bought for the kids last year for Christmas. And so they sent me video. I was going to put it on Facebook, and I thought, I don't think I will, because somebody will just, complain about it with children. But it was Dan and Sarah showing the kids how to shoot the BB guns at targets and stuff. And it was really, really cool and fun. And it was, gun safety and respect and stuff like that. If you want your kids to respect and be a little afraid of firearms, teach them young, do the right thing. Anyway, I was touched by it. And that they're using the Red Ryder BB guns that I bought my granddaughter, who was at the time, I think, 7. And Brady was 11, I think, or 8, or she was maybe might have been 8. Anyway, and I also got him his first over-under shotgun 22 rifle. Anyway, let's see. Oh.
So he's taking out skiers as they go by. The Spider Savage, Claudine Lange, sweet.
Andy Williams' ex-wife, Claudine Lange, that sweet little French chick. And she murdered her skier boyfriend.
And Saturday Night Live making fun of it, showing skiers falling down.
Remember the opening video to ABC's Wild World of Sports, and the guy's skiing down and he falls off the jump. Oh no! And he's tumbling, and then bam, bam. That was back in the old days when I used to watch Saturday Night Live. Whataburger is opening today in Kennesaw.
Now, is that the one in L.A. or the one in Texas?
It started in Texas, but it's all over now.
So I haven't had that.
Texas. It's so big that the founder was an Army career guy, and he and his buddy decided to go into restaurant business and make a hamburger, and they wanted to make it so big that somebody say, oh, what a burger. So they called it Whataburger. And it's got like 9 layers of stuff. It's so big you can't eat it.
Do you have to see a loan officer? Is it like Five Guys again?
I don't know. I saw a menu thing they have more than hamburgers.
Well, see,
but
you got two people.
burger joint.
Half the country
Famous.
thinks In-N-Out is the best, and
That's
half
the
the
other
country
one.
thinks these guys. In-N-Out's
Whataburger and In-N-Out are the favorite. In-N-Out burger, I know.
Yeah, I went to L.A.
Yeah,
I went to.
I think that's in L.A.
and it's good.
Whataburger's the Texas chain that started, but I think
The thing is with every hamburger, there's got to be good fries.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10,
They're
if it's an
soft
awesome
and
burger, the
greasy
fries
and-
suck.
Five
I don't
Guys
like the
fries are
fries.
amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, just a little note to pass along. I thought
Too
that
expensive though.
was be
Yeah, how much
cool.
is a Five Guys burger going for?
Well, I mean, I haven't been there in months because it's too damn expensive. But the last time I went was probably about 6 or 7, 8 months ago, and I got a cheeseburger, I got a chocolate shake, and I got a large fry because I can eat it for 2 days, and it was $24. You imagine taking a family there, a family of 2 or 3 teenagers and your wife. That's well over $100
But the
for
thing
a
is,
burger.
a lot of people are saying it's just as expensive to go to the grocery store. So what a lot of people are doing is just going out.
That's
Well,
not
I'm
true.
not sure about it. Well,
That's
I
not
mean, in some cases, I'm sure that's true at some places, like maybe McDonald's or something. But you can't, I
But now
can't
there's a
believe it.
shortage on milk. Have y'all seen this?
I haven't seen that.
No.
I haven't noticed that.
I saw it on Twitter this past weekend that there was a couple stores up north that were.
Oh, up north.
There's and there's shortages on things almost, because of I don't go to the staple every day anymore. I go like 4 days a week, but I still go frequently to get carrots 4 or 5 days a week. and I'll look for other stuff while I'm there. And there's things that are missing that just, normal, sugar packs or sizes of things that are used to be there all the time. And it's going to get worse.
I couldn't get spray butter. They didn't have spray butter when I went to
If
Publix.
there's a rail
That
strike,
stuff is so bad for you.
Well, it's actually not as bad because there's not
chemicals to keep it liquid.
there's not as near as much fat
Butter's
in
not
it.
supposed to be liquid.
But I don't use a lot of butter. For me, it's more I just put like a spray on rice. That's really it. Just a little texture.
well,
I used a lot of butter this last week. By the way, I ate not the last of my dressing because I make a big bowl, but I ate it last, and it was better yesterday with the brown gravy. And I've decided I like McCormick's. I've gone back to McCormick's brown gravy.
I can't believe
it's got a
from
little
Pioneer?
more. It's got a little more tang than Pioneer. Pioneer's a little bland compared to McCormick's, and I grew up with McCormick's, so I like that.
Well,
but
that's good.
I ate the leftovers yesterday, and it was better than it was Thanksgiving Day.
I tell you, I had the same dinner Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
And now I got to go get food because I had 5 days. It was turkey and 2 different kinds of mashed potatoes, one with cheese, one thing, a creamy one, and stuffing, and I had roll. I mean, it was great.
and turkey sandwich, a little mustard, and turkey, and maybe a little mayonnaise.
I'm a mayonnaise
that
guy.
is such
Turkey
a
and
great.
turkey dressing and mayonnaise is the thing. I mean, you can't do better.
love it.
You can't do better than that.
In fact, I'm gonna go.
Sandwich.
I'm gonna go to Publix again today. I got a big thing of just chopped up boar's head turkey.
Yeah.
And it tastes so damn good.
Well, there you are.
Just sit there and eat it out of the bag.
Yeah, there you are. Did you do any Black Friday shopping or
No,
stuff?
I watch
Flounder, what about
football.
are you a Black Friday shopper guy?
Nah, I didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Why do they call it Black Friday? I guess someone said it's an African American thing. Why is it called Black Friday?
No, I don't think.
Hold on, let me Google it and find out.
That's a great question.
I had
I don't
someone
think it was
say it
that.
over the
Really?
weekend said it has something to do with African Americans, but I don't know exactly
No,
what.
I
what
don't
it
think
is.
so. I think it was because it's so crowded that it was like the fall of the stock market kind of. a deal.
Speaking of which, one guy actually decided and put this in writing. I don't know, maybe he should have done this, but he says the best thing about Black Friday. Let me find it here. Be here just a second. Yes, it's coming. It's coming. I swear it's coming.
Two investors, Jay Gould and Jim Fisk, drove up the price of gold, which led to a market crash on Friday, September 24th, 1869. According to Business Insider, the stock market dropped, foreign trade was put on hold, and farmers took a hit. The day was then dubbed as Black Friday.
Yeah, but why is shopping on the day after Thanksgiving called Black Friday? That's the question. That's the question.
Yeah, that was my question.
Well,
that's my question.
Okay, let's
I guess. Let's ask Alexa.
ask.
All right, everybody, be quiet.
Hold
Listen,
on.
here we go.
Let's see here.
We have a new Ask Alexa microphone
I
system.
do it for my podcast. This is very thrilling.
Let me make sure the mic. Test. Okay.
Just
Here we go.
We'll start arguing with her too.
Alexa? Say Alexa.
Where did Black Friday come from?
Say Alexa.
Alexa, where did the term Black Friday come from?
Here's what I found on Black Friday's Wikipedia page. For centuries, the adjective black has been applied to days upon which calamities occurred. Many events have been described as Black Friday, although the most significant such event in American history was the Panic of 1869, which occurred when financiers Jay Gould and James Fisk took advantage of their connections with the Grant administration in an attempt to corner the gold market.
Wow, that's a very.
We still don't know why they call Black Friday the day after Thanksgiving.
But Mike Primavera says my favorite part of Black Friday is when the skulls of the weaker shoppers crunch beneath my feet.
I know. Actually, did I went Saturday. I went to actual stores and stuff. Friday I didn't. I avoid stores at all costs on Black Friday. But online sales set a record, a Black Friday record.
Well, today's Cyber Monday. Today was supposed to be
today's
online.
today's the biggest online day, but they even set a record last Friday, a gain of a few percent over the former year. Tech gifts rose 220% over a normal day. The top sellers were smart home items, electronic stuff, and audio equipment. Toys rose 230% sales. Fortnite, Roblox, Bluey, Funko Pop, Disney Encanto. I've never heard of any of those. I have no idea what those are.
The Encanto is it's Spanish based. It's about a young kid who wants to get in touch with his dead relatives on the Day of the Dead.
Oh my God!
Yeah, well,
And
it
that's a
actually looks
game?
pretty cute. It actually looks pretty cute. It's It's a movie.
And our friend Mike Hunt at the Babylon Bee mentioned that in a huge sale, In Raleigh, North Carolina, a local retailer is making waves after announcing its most dramatic Black Friday sale ever, in which every item in the store is marked down to whatever the price was before Joe Stupid became president. Yeah, we're going to lose a bundle on this deal since everything was so much cheaper under Trump, said store manager Fransley McBorgendern to reporters as thousands gathered outside awaiting the store opening. But we have to get people in the doors so we can stay in business, at least until Amazon runs us out of business in a couple of months. It'll refuel America's nostalgia for a time when gas was affordable, groceries didn't cost $500 a week, and the country wasn't fighting a proxy war with Russia. Merry Christmas! We hope you enjoy a little look back in time to 3 years ago before quietly weeping into a display of 50% off bathroom items. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, Black Friday. Give me a freaking break. Let's see. Oh, hold on a second. We got so much more to come. I got a couple of weird crime things coming up here too, by the way, which are very bizarre, make me strange. One thing, tell your kids. Catfishing. Do you ever notice what catfishing is? There's now a channel that has catfish shows on all the time.
Horrible.
A 28 or something year old guy catfished a young teenage girl in California, and they fell in love over the internet. He was pretending to be somebody else, and so she fell hook, line, and sinker for him. She wanted to meet him, so he drove to her house. All of a sudden, he shows up at the door, and he's not a 15-year-old kid. You know, he's 28 years old and a grown man and a freak. He shoots her grandparents and her mother and kidnaps the girl. Drives off, gets caught, gets killed in a gunfight with the cops. But again, from catfishing on the internet with a young teenage girl who's communicating and falling in love with a guy on her phone or a laptop. I mean, she's alive. He didn't kill her, but he's dead, and so are her grandparents and her mother.
Did he kill himself, did you say? Or
no, he shot. Cops caught him.
Cops got him? Good.
Thank God. Anyway, just a word of the wise. Sorry to be such a downer on that thing here. Coming up, we'll talk about spoiling a hijacker. Also, word of the day. Pete's. Are you guys following this soccer protest business going on with the World Cup thing at all?
Yeah.
I'll ask you about that coming up here, too. Also, something about dragons in Oklahoma. I'm not sure I want to hear about that. But first, a salute to our friends at flagco.com. Flagco.com. I love my American flag. In fact, it was so windy. I was going to go hit balls
How
this weekend.
windy was it?
It was so windy. I couldn't. I had to take my flag in because it was just really a thing. But my flag is so durable and so beautiful. It's as bright red, white, and blue as it was the day I got it a year or two ago with flagco.com. And, of course, they have the mounting stuff for it. In fact, flagco.com has mounting stuff to put on brick walls, which nobody else can figure out. But here's a couple of fun things right in time for the Christmas shopping season. They have a few specials. One is the Starry Night Flagpole Christmas lights. They come with everything except the pole for the Christmas tree of lights. So you need a 15 to 25-foot pole, or they can custom build one for you. They have lights are in cool white, warm white, red, blue, and multicolor sets. They have a mini version, including the 10-foot pole. The second special right now is a trailer hitch flagpole kit, and they have either single or double flags available for the flag trailer hitch kit. There's a whole bunch of them ready to go. Another special item right now is their 20-foot telescopic pole with wheelbase, which is great for tailgating. The base slides under a tire, weighs it down. When the game's over, collapses into a small package till the following week. Great Christmas gifts, especially for you tailgaters, for hubby if he likes to go that kind of thing. They're still looking for a couple of warehouse workers. If you're looking for a job, flagcode.com. Here's the phone number, 800-962-0956. And again, it's not just American flags. It's every state flag, basically every country flag, banners, notices. If you're having an open house at a cul-de-sac, they have all those little called bow and arrow banners and stuff. They get whatever you're looking for. Signs of all kinds. Flagcode.com. Please tell them the Kimmer sent you. 800-962-0956 on the web. Flagco.com. Good folks. That's where I got my flag.
Had a couple people here
Yes.
say Black Friday comes because the volume of sales put companies in the black for the year.
That makes sense. I think that's the reason. I think that's the reason. Oh, in fact, Oh, it's like Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Stores make their money for that season period. Christmas shopping for most places is really the boon of all of it. So that makes sense to me.
So is that why people in New Orleans are so lazy, because they just work 1 month a year?
1 month a year. That's it.
The rest of the year it's just making muffaladas.
I have a coconut from the crew. What the hell's the name of the crew? The black crew. Oh my God, I can't remember. Not Bach. Oh God, I can't believe it. Oh, my mind's going. And the crews throw doubloons and trinkets, which we did one time with my buddy Mikey and I. They made a serve thing. Anyway, and they threw me a coconut, a painted coconut. They put designs on them and throw them to the crowd, and I have one from years ago, 1971 or something. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know anything. Let's see. Oh, a couple of get rid of that thing. A couple of weird crime things, and I won't spend a lot of time on this, but you need to know about it. Again, they're out of control at Atlantic Station.
What?
I remember when Mayor Shirley Franklin, the mayor of Haight, was promoting the Atlantic Station as the greatest thing that's ever going to happen to. Remember this? Ever going to happen to Atlanta? Oh, yeah. And one of my favorite songs and one of your most hated songs is "We Built This City" by Starship, whatever it was. And I remember I played that song and I did lyrics to it, saying Atlantic Station, you can get some stuff if you can really afford it, and they don't steal your car. I did a whole thing on Atlantic Station. Well, sure enough, Atlantic Station's been a freaking disaster. It's now apparently crime-ridden by children. Just this weekend, now the mayors had to come out. Mayor, what's his name of Atlanta?
Well, who is the mayor?
I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not going to even care about it. Apparently, there was a whole bunch of minors at Atlantic Station shot during a big melee Saturday evening. A 12-year-old boy was killed. 5 other little boys were shot, all of them under the age of 18. The 12-year-old murder victim was Zylian Charles. A group of young people were escorted off Atlantic Station property by security and off-duty Atlanta police officers for unruly behavior and violating the curfew. There's a 3 o'clock in the afternoon curfew at Atlantic Station.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's like Atlantic Square. If you don't have an adult, they kick you out if you're a kid.
Good.
For good reason. You can't be trusted. You're a scumbag.
I used to live right behind Atlantic Station, and I would go to the Target there and a couple other stores in Atlantic Station just because it was convenient. And it's been 3.5 years probably since I lived there.
Well, you won't catch me down there.
Was it empty? Was there people in there?
No, there was people there. It wasn't like that. I mean, obviously, if you're there in the evening time versus the daytime, it's a little different, but it wasn't crime-ridden like that.
This was 8 o'clock Saturday night or something. Police were quick to show it. There was a trouble. There were people doing stuff, so the cops showed up. The police were quick to arrive, as well. 26 off-duty officers were also working security jobs. So they had the police plus 26 other cops off duty working as security guards, 10 security guards who were official security guards as part of the safety efforts, and still these groups of young kids get together. They knew each other. They fight all the time. I assume they're gangbangers. It doesn't say gang names, but the groups knew each other and had a conflict earlier this month that came to a head when they ran into each other over the weekend. Individuals who are known to Atlanta police investigators. Well, gee, what do you think that means?
They were on their radar.
Yeah. The mayor, what's his name, spoke with the parents of each of the victims who said they were devastated, but they had not known where their children were Saturday night or that Atlantic Station even had a curfew for minors. So now the mayor is saying, well, it takes a village. We have to have the people of Atlantic Station and all the people who live in there to try to control all these children and the crime things. Jesus. Parents didn't know where the kids were.
Of course not.
Duh.
12 years old.
I mean, again, if you want to talk about child crime, ask about the home situation. If there's mommy and daddy, has mommy or daddy ever been to their school? Do they know their teacher? Have they ever read them a story before they go to bed? Have they ever been to the library? Have they ever been to a zoo? Have they ever been to a history museum or a play? Have they ever done anything as a family in terms of anything other than playing video games or crime stuff? Do they read to their kids? Do they check their homework? Do they know they ever gone to a PTA? I mean, ask the obvious questions. And I guarantee you the answer is no to any of them. Any of them. And then you blame white man for, turning your kid into a gangster.
Well, congratulations, Democrats. You basically destroyed the black nuclear family.
That's right.
You've destroyed it.
It's over. And I mean, it just...
And you know what? And it was a liberal Democrat, Daniel Patrick Moynihan, senator from New York, who warned us about this in the 60s and 70s, that this whole welfare state that Johnson was setting up will destroy the black family, and it's exactly what has happened.
Well, again, it was it was the great what the hell is Johnson's LBJ's the Great
Society.
Great Society, and of course the plan of the Great Society was to have a bunch of public housing units, and of course they all became gang headquarters. When I was in Chicago in the '80s for a couple of years, the police would not go into Cabrini Green, named after a saint, by the way. Yeah. Literally would not go into the housing area of Cabrini Green.
It was a no-go. By the way, talking about when the Atlantic Station first opened, I had a friend. She's very conservative, but she liked living downtown, and she was one of the ones that first moved into the Atlantic Station. They promised all this stuff.
Oh, God,
she comes out her first week, and she looks, and there's a junkie shooting up in the hallway because they put section 6?
Section 8 or something.
Section 8's crazy, isn't it?
Section. Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, I can't.
But
remember.
they put people off the streets, and the apartment and condos right next to her, and there's people shooting up in the hallways the first week she's there, and she couldn't move out fast enough.
Ridiculous. Just a couple of quick mentions again under the whole crime thing, but things you should know. There's a study that now shows handgun owners carrying a pistol every day. The number of handgun owners carrying a pistol every day in America has doubled in the last 3 years.
A pistol a day will keep the crooks away.
6,000 gun owners carried handguns every day in 2019, up from 3,000 in 2015. This is on. Obviously, that number isn't the total number. The number of respondents to an online survey who said they carried a gun doubled from 9 million to 16 million. The study focuses solely on owners carrying a handgun in their pocket or on their person, not in the car. Yeah. So we're talking way many more people are carrying a gun in their pocket or on their person, especially now that New York has overturned the strict gun carrying laws in New York State. More adults are carrying loaded handguns in public places, even without a permit when a permit's required. In 1990, only one state allowed you to carry a gun without a permit. Now it's 21 states, including Georgia.
I thought we were 25. I thought we got even with it.
Well, no, it says 21
I thought the
here,
NRA put out a thing recently that Georgia was like the 25th or something. Maybe.
It could be true. I don't know. Either way, it's going the right direction. And in Chicago, a 23-year-old woman who has a concealed carry permit was 2 o'clock in the morning in Chicago, Calumet Heights neighborhood of Chicago. Early in the morning, 4 men spilled out of a black sedan and came toward her car. One of the men opened her car door holding a gun, so she shot him in the face. One of the other guys shot her in the arm, and then they took off. The guy shot in the face is not dead for some reason, but the other 3 guys got away. And of course, crime is spiking like crazy, and it's in Chicago. And again, when I was in Chicago for a couple of years in the '80s, and I broke the law every single day. I carried a police special .38 Smith & Wesson undercover revolver that had no hammer, so it didn't catch on pulling out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I broke the law. I could have gone to jail every single day because I didn't trust anybody. What's going on?
So lately, let's go to the cat cam.
Cat cam.
So sometimes, like during the week and this weekend, he started nibbling on those little holes right there in my dresser that I'm pointing at right now that I hold stuff. And so what he'll do is he'll pull out those little drawers and he'll go and he'll hang out in there.
He's checking out Pete's. Now he's coming over to.
There's a great photo on the internet I saw over the weekend that shows a full-grown tiger. Well, how big? 600 pounds?
Yeah.
How big is the thing?
Yeah.
And it is curled up inside of a crate that's like 3 times less its size, and it's sitting there at the zoo, sitting in the crate, looking around like an ordinary house cat.
If you crate train a dog, or they love going in those crates. And again, I've seen it breaks your heart in a happy way. there was a series of pictures somebody did of when they got a puppy. And there was a series of shelves in their living room, and like a shelving unit. And the little puppy would go lay in the bottom shelf as a little baby puppy. And as he got older and older, he would still go to that shelf, but he could only get like a leg in there. And there was a series of photographs showing every year as he got bigger, or every size he got bigger, less and less of them would go in there, but he still went back to try to get into that shelf that he went to as the little baby puppy. Anyway, it's just, I miss, I love going to those, see the horses. I had some great horse. Did you see the pictures Debbie took of me with Stretchy? Mm-mm. Oh. Anyway, it does my heart good. A couple quick.
Can you? Who took those pictures?
The girl who took. Oh my God, he's going nuts.
It's a fly or something.
Holy cow! Can you? Where's the camera on that? Oh, look at him! He's going crazy.
Yeah, I'm about to.
Are you showing him?
Uh-oh, he's after something there.
I'm about to have to take him out of here. So.
Yeah, something's outside that he's after. It's a bird or something.
He's knocking over all your stuff. Oh, something's outside.
Yeah, something outside. He's hunting that, whatever it is. Look at that tail go. Can you see what he's mad at?
Show the camera.
Is it a squirrel?
Yeah.
Squirrel!
Show him on the camera. All right, here's Kitty Cat's in the window, and he's jumping around going nuts.
No other podcast in America has this.
I wonder if there's a cat out there.
No, it's a squirrel.
No, there's a squirrel. That's what
it is a squirrel?
What are you going to do with that squirrel if you
My
call
Great
him?
Dane used to chase him up trees. He would chase squirrels up trees.
Oh, Bear would go out. I see him. He'd be like the cartoon where it's running in place for a second before he took off, and I knew it was a possum out in the backyard. He'd be,
oh, pretty funny. Let's see, a couple quick, speaking of kid things, and again, this is another word to the wise, Cobb County Library. The regional library on Old Highway 41. Let's see. 2 minors have been arrested for robbery. They robbed somebody trying to sell shoes to buyers they met online. Let's see. Saturday night, 2 young people had been arrested after a search warrant. They found the shoes. Ages were not disclosed, but they were juveniles. And there was a second case where a guy got hit in the face with a gun and they stole his shoes. Again, at the Cobb County Library on Old Highway 41. And the Cobb County Police are saying, we have what's called an e-commerce zone in all 5 precincts.
Right.
Go to the parking lot at the police station.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I would always go.
Yeah, hey, I'll tell you what. I'll meet you tonight in back of the library. Bring your money and I'll bring you the shoes to sell. I'll do that.
You know what the cops should do to those guys when they catch them?
What?
Throw the book at them.
The book, my friend. Thank you. This is in DeKalb County.
Close the book on that one.
An 18-year-old was killed, and 3 others, including a 15-year-old, were shot trying to break into somebody's home.
It's a shame.
Tenalius McCune.
Tenalius?
Jacquez Greer. And a 15-year-old were shot apparently trying to break into somebody's house. 4 guys arrived at the location, tried a home invasion, got into exchange of gunfire with a guy inside with other family members. The police said he was justified for shooting back at the bad guys breaking into his house, so no charges. God. One other quickie thing. I don't understand how this is possible. They don't mention the dealership. In Orlando, just near Orlando, Winter Haven, Florida, an 86-year-old man is taking a test drive in an automobile with his 76-year-old passenger. 86 years old, taking a test drive. Sure enough, he turns into another car and he's killed his friend. She's dead. 86 years old. Yeah, go ahead and take the car out. I hope you enjoy it. 86?
They don't let you do that anymore. They ride in the car with you, don't they?
I thought so.
What dealership gives you the keys and lets you drive the car?
Was killed
I
in
did
a
one
vehicle.
by myself, like
Really?
that, but it was a used car. I mean,
Was killed when a vehicle being test driven by an 86-year-old man turned into the path of a car outside a Florida car.
they take a copy of your license and your insurance.
Yeah,
I mean,
they do that too at Porsche, and then they get in the car with you. In fact, you ride in the passenger seat for the first go-round
Oh, I'm
as
sure
they
of it.
show you what it can do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
and as for good reason. And one more. What do you think about this? In Missouri, a man named Kevin Johnson is going to be put to death tomorrow for murdering a police officer in 2005. So he's had almost 20 years of freedom in prison to have all the sex he wants in 3 squares a day in a cot. And now his daughter is 19 years old, Corey Ramey, and she wants to go watch his execution. Missouri has a law that says you have to be 21 to witness an execution in Missouri.
Why?
She filed, well, of course, that law may be so old that it was because that's back when you were an adult before 18 became an adult. Yeah. But that's the law in the books, is you have to be 21 to witness an execution. I guess they didn't want children, anyway. Crap, yeah. So she said, I'm 19, I want to watch my father being put to death, and the judge has said no. He's going to be killed 6 o'clock tomorrow. And so now she has to go to another judge to try.
Okay, it's her. Okay, I thought it was a victim. So this is
his daughter.
I think the judge is doing the right thing. It'll probably get tossed out.
Yeah.
But to try and spare her from seeing that, which she'll carry the rest of her life, I'm sorry. It's.
I can't imagine why you would want to go watch your father be executed.
She's probably trying to make a point against capital punishment. Probably.
I don't have much on the story, I'm afraid. I don't really know much about it, but it's just that seems pretty freaking.
The name Tenelius brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com. You want a Kimmer T-shirt, Holy Crap It Sports T-shirt, whatever you need, Shannon Burke, it doesn't matter, because they'll make it for you, 1 or 1,000. FarmhousePrintingCo.com, located right here in beautiful downtown Sonoya, Georgia, or on the outskirts, I don't know. Promotional items, no minimum order, no setup fees, with laser engraving. That's permanent. That's permanent. Right there, laser engraving. It ain't going away. It's what, too?
Like a tattoo.
Like a tattoo. FarmhousePrintingCo.com. I would not know, having disgraced my heavenly body with putting
I have a brand. I have my brand that you did. Brand. You, with Wayne No Offense, branded me, and I still have. That still shows, by the way.
Looks like it hurt.
I hurt like a son of a bitch. It was sizzling.
It was. We smelled it.
And again, it was very quickly. A football coach got in trouble because one of his players had 3 or 4 guys took a paper clip, heated it up, and put a pinprick red mark on their chest as a solidarity to show the so-and-so. A parent found out about it, and the coach either got fired or suspended or something. He said, for a pinprick of the guys to show. So I said, well, we'll show solidarity with those guys. So Pete and Wayne No Offense, a producer at the time, bent paper clips into to the letters USMC, and one at a time, holding on with a pair of pliers and a lighter, lit the letters.
Totally illegal at what we were doing.
In the studio, on the air, we're broadcasting on the radio, lit the thing so it was red hot, and then and you could hear it sizzling the skin. You can hear the boiling of the skin. And it says USMC, although it looks like U5MR or something.
Yeah. When you get older, it sags.
Really it's kind of sagging a little.
Leave,
when I flex, it didn't really come out the same way anymore. But anyway, so I have been branded. I actually got branded.
In fact, I was the other day, Chris DeVito, Nick Chilino, 680 The Fan, we're talking about old tattoos as you get older.
Yeah.
And Nick had a great line. He says, all tattoos when you get older look like melting lava lamps.
Yep, that's right. For good reason. Let that be a lesson to you. I forgot to read a couple of very nice thank you notes. And again, these are people, I got these from our post office box. And make sure, please, if you would write a check, make it sure to Kimmer Media as opposed to my name, Kimmer Media.
If you put Kim Peterson on there, he just pockets the money.
I just take the money. So that's, then I got to go to the bank and get them, and then it's a whole thing. Anyway, and it's a post office box 1432, 1432, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30009. Anyway, some very nice notes. This is from Todd, the O-Man. It is a pretty card. It's 3 Native American children, happy smiles on their faces, and it says, a true friend knows the song in your heart and sings it when memory fails. I'm singing with you. Happy Thanksgiving, Todd. Isn't that nice? And it's a beautiful card. It's a sweet hand, like a hand-painted. It says, scan with your smartphone or other device for a special surprise message to you from the Indian children.
Well, do it. Do it right now.
Well, how do you? Well, you do it. Show me.
Make my phone blow up.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
All right, hold on. I'll just point the camera at it. All right, I'm pointing. It says, "Open Saint Okay, turn on my phone.
Okay.
All right, I've got to look it up right now.
And now it shows a picture, a writing of some kind or a
we'll
thing?
see. It says Saint Labre Indian School, Labre, Labre.
La Brea.
Be the sunshine for the boys and girls, basically. It's a place where you can donate to them. It's got little stories about the little kids and everything. It's a very nice little web page.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like a hand-painted Thanksgiving or a holiday card, Christmas
I tell you,
card,
that QR code is frightening, but it's also amazing at the same time.
Yeah. And also,
I can deal with that, but just don't put it on my forehead.
Yeah, right. There you go. Also, speaking of, this is a very pretty pen and ink drawing card of a dilapidated old shack.
Barn, yeah.
An old barn, which is, to me...
Or a home in Auburn.
It could be a home in Auburn. But I love things like old art like that. My father used to collect pen and ink sketches and drawings.
Wood engravings,
Yeah.
little Japanese stuff, yeah.
And it says, Kimmer, thank you and Pete and Flounder for bringing your voices, laughter, tears, insight, even sports, into our lives.
Sports.
Listening to you all is a welcome treat. Best wishes to you all and the kitty from Sarah and Mike, which, again,
very
and I've already written out the thank you notes with our new farmhouseprintingco.com
We should
stationery.
put that up. We should put that up for Christmas cards. What do you think, Flounder? We should hang them up here on the things or something?
Yeah, we
Oh,
can
we
do
can
that.
do that. I'll leave them right here.
we'll keep 'em right
a couple
there.
right there.
Get on that, will you?
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to think. I bet I got a board back there I could put them on. So I'll do. Yeah, I'll take a
little pin
gander at
thing.
that.
A couple quick sports things. Again, you've already done Holy Crap at Sports.
I sure
Did you
did.
do any particular thing standing out on over the weekend sports activities?
I made fun of Auburn, which is what I like to do because
of
they
Lane
were
Kiffin?
so cocksure they were getting Lane Kiffin. They were stealing our coach. And
Now, why
of course,
did
he
that-
hasn't signed a new contract yet, so he could still do it.
Well, why did that happen to you? Is it because he didn't want to go, or
Supposedly, his
waiting for
family
something?
didn't want to move from Oxford to Auburn.
really?
Auburn's got a history. It's a nice place, but it's got a history of the families feeling very unwelcome if the coach starts losing, and
Yeah,
it
I'll
becomes a
bet that's
very
true. I'll
very
bet
hard
that's-
place. And the kid, he uprooted his kids when they were pretty young from Boca Raton to Oxford, Mississippi. That's a culture change.
Yeah.
But after 4 years, they've gotten used to it. They're in school. He doesn't want to pull them out again like that, and he didn't
Yeah.
want to leave Oxford for Auburn. That's supposedly I heard two reports on that. One, as they pointed out, it's easier to win at Ole Miss than it is at Auburn. Now you can
With the schedule.
win national championships at Auburn, which you probably won't at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
But you're the number one thing in the state,
Yeah.
even if you lose.
Plus,
the
he's
game.
got to be making millions every year.
Oh,
I
he's
mean,
gotta be- he's had a basically a raise, an extension.
Yeah.
The 3 years he's been there for every year,
So-
he's going to get $9 million a year now.
yeah. So it's not like he's going from 1
No.
million to 14 or something. I mean, he's making all his money.
And by turning down Auburn, by the way, they haven't signed anyone yet. They're talking to Hugh Freeze, and Auburn people are pissed off about
yeah,
Hugh
I heard
Freeze
the
again.
Hugh Freeze name there.
But Kiffin, to me, is waiting for Alabama. He's waiting for Saban,
Yeah.
and they love him. They love to have Kiffin there.
yeah, that makes sense.
So
well,
we'll
Saban's
see.
what, 72 or 3 or something now?
He's up there.
somewhere
And I
in
tell
the
you, I
70s.
mentioned it on my show today, with this crazy old man hair going, and he needs to get that cut, and he had a cut on his side. He was bleeding on his
Yeah,
cheek.
what is
Some
he-
player actually ran into him or something like that,
Yeah.
I think.
He said you ought to
just
see
looked
the other
old.
guy. And, yeah.
He looked old. And
He might be getting tired. He might be getting.
No, he wants to win. He doesn't want to not be in the playoffs. He wants to go out a winner.
Well, I'm sure that's
But if he
true.
doesn't make the playoffs this year, which he won't, or next year, boy, there's going to be some screaming at Alabama.
Yeah.
Especially if Auburn gets somebody that is doing well.
Yeah.
Are we still sticking on sports? I have two questions.
Okay.
Two questions.
Oh, did you say
USA
after sports?
I was going to ask Pete about USA Soccer.
Oh, I was going to ask you too. And there are whole kinds of protests going on over there. That they're now covering their mouths, or they're kneeling and not kneeling.
The
or-
Germans
what
covered
the
their
hell?
mouths in a team photo, which is ridiculous. The English, by the way, caught a lot of. I was reading the London newspapers after they tied us.
Yeah.
Some of the funniest damn
Are
things.
they the ones who knelt, or took a knee?
Yeah, the English keep nailing it, and the British are going. How the Americans started that shit? How come we're still
and
doing
the
it?
Americans are not taking a knee, and the
Americans
British
are looking
did.
at him like, what are you doing? Even our black players, what the hell are you doing?
Oh.
So they told the English people they couldn't wear Crusader outfits anymore. Now, they were wearing knight stuff, but it has the red cross on it. So the Muslims thought you're being Crusaders. Like, no, we dress like
for
knights and
God's
everything.
sakes.
So they told them
You
they
know-
couldn't wear that anymore. And Reuters put out one of the most disingenuous lies I've ever seen, basically saying that this upset the Muslims there because it reminded them of the Christians invading to capture Jerusalem. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why were they invading? Because the Muslims invaded and took a Christian Jewish city that had been that way for 1,000 years. They came in and they captured it. and the Christians were coming in to recapture it. That's why there was a crusades. We didn't start the damn crusades, but Reuters was acting like we were the invaders.
Well, it's like Putty-Tat, Barack Hussein Putty-Tat, so he used to make the point, well, Christians have murdered a lot of people in the name of Christianity over there, not just Muslims,
Well, so then our team, not the players or the coaches, our team put out some logo yesterday. They took something off or added something that made us in solidarity with the women of Iran.
Yeah.
Since we're playing Iran, and if we don't beat them, we got to beat them on the drum tomorrow. And the Iranians got mad and threatened to saying, "You're not respecting us." And well, of course we don't respect you. Nobody does.
Stop going there.
They want us kicked out. They want us kicked out over.
Good. Fine. Just stop going over any of those places. I mean, they don't deserve it.
What gets me is
all of a sudden you can't support women going to another country because that's their custom, as they hate women, treat them like crap. Then don't go there. We should boycott them.
They tried to stop people from wearing rainbow stuff too, and then they backed off on that.
Right,
they backed out. We got a few of the World Cup's leading scorers, though. You want to hear?
All right, please do. Yeah.
Same old Ho of Korea scored a few goals. Nigel Spankbottom of England is up there. Franz Nazi Gold of Switzerland scored a couple. Karl-Heinz Wattgold of Germany. And Antonio This Gold of Argentina. So got that going for him.
That's good to hear. Do you have a Pete poll out?
I do. Well, not right now. We're on camera.
Thank you. Hey.
No one can beat a Pete poll.
No, you can't really do
Gray
that.
Always said. Yes, I do.
Do you want to mention it all? I assume Georgia's still number one.
The Georgia fans, now most of them understand what happened.
You didn't put Georgia. Oh my God,
I put Michigan number one. First of all,
well, they upset Ohio State, and that's a big win.
Same people give me crap.
And they beat them pretty good too, by the way.
For 3 months, I've had Michigan ahead of Ohio State, and everybody's going, "There's no way." Well, guess what? They're better than Ohio State.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they'll beat Georgia in the playoff. I'm just saying right now they had a better game.
Yeah.
They deserve to be number
we played
one.
Georgia Tech.
And to me, it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech was leading them and played them well
halftime.
for a half.
Yeah.
And Georgia fans were delusional. They were acting like we stomped them again. We crushed them. It's like we're still going to be number one.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, you're delusional. You didn't lose that game. You won it easily, but there's no way in hell you were beating them 56-0.
Right.
You should have, but you didn't.
Yeah.
And Michigan went in there to Columbus and just destroyed them.
Again, beating the number 2 team when they were number 3 and in Ohio.
Yeah.
I mean,
but what did AP?
That's a major win.
The AP poll kept Georgia number one, which, that's fine.
Which is fine.
That's their opinion, and what makes me think that the playoff committee tomorrow night will keep Georgia number one. They shouldn't, but they will.
Well,
and as long as Georgia's in the top 4, what does it matter?
Yeah, they're also undefeated, and they can't be penalized because they played Georgia Tech, which is not exactly a powerhouse.
I think they can.
Well,
Michigan's undefeated.
Yeah, that's true. Again, I can't argue with it. I don't have a problem with it.
They play a cupcake schedule in the Big Ten. I understand that too.
Right,
but when they play somebody that was worthwhile, by the way, the Heisman Trophy, Caleb Williams of USC. Did you see any of that game?
Yeah,
the Southern Cal
highlights.
Game?
Yeah.
Holy cow!
I know, unbelievable.
He looked like Lamar Jackson running around out there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any player
pretty
anywhere
impressive.
near that talent.
Yeah.
Not C.J. Stroud, not anybody.
Yeah, that guy from Tennessee looked pretty good off and on. But
breaking news too: Deion Sanders says he has been offered the Colorado job, which he should not take.
He doesn't want to go to Colorado.
He doesn't know to go to. He's got no ties there.
No,
that's a graveyard for coaches
for
the last 30 years.
He's got no hurry. Right? I mean, there's no way he needs to be in a hurry.
Let the Hugh Freeze thing go. Tits up at Auburn. Where else are they going to turn to after that? Matt Rule is gone.
Yeah.
Kiffin says he doesn't want to go there, even though he hasn't signed the contract yet. Why not go after Deion at that point?
Yeah, I agree. He should definitely not be in a hurry. There's no reason for it.
He wants to go though. He's ready for it. What can he do? He's 11-0. He's not going to get any better at Jackson
He doesn't want to
State.
just take a bigger school. He wants to take the right decision.
He wanted Florida
But
State.
they'll support him.
He was kind of, I think, hoping that Mike Norvell was going to suck again in Tallahassee, and he's not. He's got that program on the rise. Yeah.
So anyway, and of course the Falcons.
Falconing. That's why it's called falconing.
And was it the last play or the last 2 minutes? Or
what was it? The last
at the 4-yard line.
Because they were punting and he kicked them.
The last 3 games, the defense made the stop they needed to stop and hand the ball to the offense and just go down and score the winning touchdown.
Yeah.
And they failed both times in doing it.
Yeah.
And what's the common denominator? Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
And I pointed that out. And once again, he screwed the pooch at the end of the game like he always does when there's pressure on him.
Was it first and goal from the 4 or something?
They
or
could have
whatever?
run. There was a minute left. They could have kept
Yeah.
running the ball. No, let's let Mariota throw the ball. He sucks at it, but let's make him keep doing it. When you've been running roughshod over one of the best defenses in the country for in the NFL for running, and you stop running again, and you start throwing the ball, and he throws it. So the Mariota sycophants they're all from Oregon. I'm tired of the Mariota hate. He's a great quarterback, and that ball was tipped. Well, maybe it's the quarterback's job not to throw a ball that can be tipped.
Yeah.
And how about this? 2 plays earlier, I think, he almost fumbled the exchange again, like he does all the time.
Yeah.
When the pressure's on, that guy folds. How many teams, from the Titans to the Falcons, have we got to see him be just mediocre for the people to get that he's never going to be a great quarterback?
Well, especially from with the number down, just, go student body left, student body right, student body left, student body right. I mean, come on, you can't get 3 yards.
And there's another
with
thing.
everybody going in one direction.
If he had scored on that, he would have given the Commanders a minute.
Yeah.
All they needed was a field goal.
Yeah, I know.
What are you doing? Run the ball, run the clock down, and
run the
then
clock
score.
down, right.
In fact, another play, I think it's Cordarrelle Patterson, a play or 2 earlier, was running down the sidelines, and he ran out of bounds. What are you doing? You want to run clock here.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what
I tell you, it's falconing.
Falconing. Oh, they falconed again.
And the Buccaneers lost. The Buccaneers lost, and they're still in the hunt. How amazing that they're still not.
I know. 3-7 out there, 4-7 or now or something.
Here's the end times right now. ESPN, Dan Orlovsky said that they're interesting team. The Falcons are an interesting team. And Mike Greenberg says, yeah, who wants to watch the Buccaneers? The Falcons are at least fun to watch. And I almost felt, I spit my cereal out, and I almost fell off the couch.
Wait a minute.
ESPN is saying nice things about the Falcons. Oh, my God. And they're trashing, in the same breath, they're trashing Tom Brady, and they're praising the Falcons.
Yeah, it's right.
For losing.
I know.
They've blown 3 games. They blew that New Orleans game, and they've blown 2 games since. They should be. What are they now? 5-7. What are they? 5-6. 5-7. 5-7. Yeah. They should be 8-4.
Well, yeah.
And running away with the division.
Yeah.
Running away with it.
Yeah, or 7, at least 7-5.
And they're not because Marcus Mariota.
Yeah. Well, anyway, what do you got over there for lunch there, Flounder?
Yeah, it smells good.
Leftover chicken, rice, and broccoli.
God, Chinese smells good today.
I did. That's just leftovers.
Yeah.
After 5 days of dressing, man.
I literally had 3 days of turkey leftovers, and I was like, all right, I need some Chinese.
Yeah, I've got to decide I got to get my food for the next couple of days, so I got to decide what to go back to. I'll probably do the chicken and rice, and sometimes I'll get some of those big hearty soups and put a half a chicken in there and have like a stew thing.
Yeah, I got to hit the store later today because what I'm doing now is I've set myself to where I can do an order. I order Uber Eats only once or twice a week at most.
Only once or twice.
That's good for me just with my schedule. So
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, because the stores are always closed.
Anyway, let's see. Coming up, a couple of Dear Abbeys, which I thought were bizarre. And I don't understand people, how they don't understand certain things. But first of all, what's this about dragons in Oklahoma?
I'm glad you asked. A gentleman has put an ad in one of the Oklahoma City newspapers. Obviously, they're having problems with this. It's in the want ads, basically.
All right.
It's right below an underground utility company needing laborers and stuff like that. Licensed plumber needed.
All right. Help wanted. All right, sir.
I don't know how much it costs to put an ad in the Oklahoma City newspaper, but I'm thinking
That'd be
about
a couple
putting
$100.
one.
Yeah.
I am quite sure most of you have seen the rather large green dragon that has been flying over northeast Oklahoma City for the better part of a week. I'm looking for someone to lure said dragon away from the Oklahoma City area to a more rural area, force said dragon to land in rural area, slay said dragon in whatever way you see fit. No pay. Dragon slaying is its own reward. Please note that I am not talking about the red dragon that frequents the area from time to time. He and I have an agreement.
Okie dokie. They took his money.
They printed it.
They'll take your money, sir. Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do.
Let's
Let's put an ad in the AJC.
Yeah.
Listeners needed.
Yeah.
Listeners to our
Donators.
podcast needed.
Donors.
Donors.
Oh, mercy. The new word of the year from Merriam-Webster Dictionary.
Yes, sir.
For the word of the year for 2022, a word that means downright deceitful, manipulating, misleading. The official definition for Merriam-Webster, the psychological manipulation of a person, usually over an extended period of time, that causes the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, perception of reality, or memories, and typically leads to confusion, loss of confidence and self-esteem, uncertainty of one's emotional or mental stability, and a dependency on the perpetrator. The word is gaslighting. Now, searches for the definition of gaslighting
Came from the movie.
On the website rose 1,700% in 1 year.
Yeah.
Looking up the word gaslighting. In a world of deep fakes, the dark web, and fake news, the editor-at-large said he was surprised there is not a single event that drove significant spikes in the curiosity. It's a word that's risen so quickly in the language, especially in the last 4 years, came as a surprise to me. Gaslighting was brought to life more than 80 years ago with, quote, Gaslight, a 1938 play by Patrick Hamilton. The term gaslighting was later used by mental health practitioners to clinically describe a form of prolonged coercive control in abusive relationships.
It was the Ingrid Bergman movie.
Yeah.
Where the guy was doing it to her, making her seem she was crazy.
Yeah. Merriam-Webster's word last year was vaccine, word of the year, and the word of the year before was pandemic. But gaslighting, and it came from that old movie.
I think he was turning it down and telling her it was still the same. And she'd look and go, oh, it's down again. He goes, no, it's
convincing
the same.
someone that they're wrong and manipulating them by your own psychological means. And boy, that's what the Democrats have been doing. I mean, literally, and not as slowly, but it's...
Well, they got it from Marx and Lenin. They said the same things. You always accuse the others of what other side of what you're doing because it confuses the issue.
Yeah. Now, I heard something about praise for the podcast, or were you just faking that?
Oh, that was the part where the guy was listening to the Edmund Fitzgerald over and over and over again.
So I had a few praises myself. A couple of things. I get a kick out of reading Dear Abby, Jean Phillips, actually, and I think she's the daughter, whatever. What's that?
I'm going to kick you.
I'm sorry? Oh, you're kicking?
Once you start reading, I'm going to kick you.
Oh, I get a kick out. I'm sorry. I'm in pain. I'm in agony. I hate, honestly, I hate every minute of every day. There's things are bad. I can't hear, and I'm just.
But you're not complaining.
Agony. I'm not complaining, though. I'm smiling. I'm happy. I'm laughing. We're here working together. Check this out. Dear Abby, I'm in a relationship I can't get out of. I was told by my boyfriend that what he's doing is normal. Oh. It's what people who love each other do, and he loves me more than anyone who's ever loved me. I have told him repeatedly I don't love him. Oh. Well, that's clue number one. Why are you asking advice? He drives by my house and follows me to work. Oh. He's watched to make sure I'm going where I say, like to the gym or the store. He tells me that every man wants to have sex with me, and I dress too sexy. I mostly wear leggings and tank tops. Well, you're a tramp. No,
the lady is a tramp.
I'm sorry. All of the watching and following is without my permission or knowledge. He usually tells me later, saying he only does it out of love. It's been going on for a few years. What do I put up with? I've tried breaking up, but it started after a few months together. He guilted me into staying, saying he'd be all alone or he'd kill himself. Then I found out he filmed us having sex a few times, and he's threatening that if I don't stay, people will see it. Please tell me what to do. I have no self-esteem left, and yes, I feel like the slut that I'm made out to be. I'm not sure what you can do to help me. I have no one to talk to. Holy moly. There are people who go through life like this.
I know.
Dear Abby says, this person doesn't love you. Your boyfriend's an abuser, a stalker, and an extortionist.
Psychopath.
Pick up the phone and call the toll-free number for National Domestic Violence Hotline. And during the conversation, ask whether his threat to make the sex tape public should be reported to the police.
Yeah.
I think yes.
That's blackmail.
Duh. Jeez.
He's also a psychopath. Buy a gun and lock your doors.
I mean,
because he's going to try and kill him.
Yeah, this doesn't get any better.
No.
And when you do break up with him, he's going to go nuts. So you need to make sure everybody knows this.
And you have people around you.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, but clearly, how could you not? I mean, I wonder whether these are fakes. I mean,
No,
I mean,
there's people like that.
God. Here's what I got a kick out of this one. Dear Abby, I took a job and relocated to another state. My wife chose to stay behind so our kids could finish school in the hometown they grew up in. For the that's why for the last 20 months, we have gone back and forth from the state I work in to our hometown. I suspect she's unhappy with the idea of relocating, even though it's a place worth investing in and offers a quality of life to our family that doesn't exist in many other places. So he's living in a great...
So it's not Atlanta.
No, it's a great place to live in, other than Georgia. And much of the time is spent appeasing her, especially when there's conflict between our teenage kids at home. We have been actively looking at schools in my new city, but there's never any resolution to our relocation issue. Any advice? Yeah. First of all, my advice is she has a boyfriend. What sir, she's cheating on you.
But you know what? You know how it is. When you're in it, you can't see
Can't see it. Abby says, I wish you would mention whether your wife works outside the home. Does she have a career she doesn't want to leave? If the answer is no, continue looking for schools in the new community. Then contact a real estate agent, help you find a place for your family to live. Once you've narrowed it down to a few, invite your wife to look at them and choose what she thinks would be most suitable. At that point, if she doesn't want to make the move, she should say so, which will free you to decide whether to sacrifice what you envision for your family's future, continue having a long-term distance marriage, or return to your town to be da-da-da. But she's got a boyfriend.
Yeah, that ain't gonna end well.
Yeah, that's
If there's a better life for the kids in the other place and she won't go, yeah something's going.
I mean, come on. And the kids are teens, so she's probably 40-ish. Which is not like 70. I mean, if you're 70 or 80 and don't want to leave your home you've been in for 50 years, that's one thing. But if you're in your 40s and the guy's got a great job and a great house and a great location and you don't want to go,
okay.
Anyway.
To make this about me for a second.
Yes, please do.
Before kindergarten, we lived in the Ozarks. Kindergarten, we lived in Savannah. First grade, we lived in Washington, D.C. Second grade, we lived in Huntsville, Alabama. Third grade, we lived in Decatur, Georgia. Why? Because my dad was transferring and moving up in the Corps of Engineers, and he wanted a better life. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
That's
what
what
everybody did. I mean, after World War II, that's what led to the subdivisions and automobiles and stuff like that. So when my dad became the general manager of GE and built the Polaris and Poseidon missiles, that was in a different town that we lived in, where he was head of the GE heavy military electronics equipment. And he got promoted. He was Jack Welch's mentor, basically, my dad. When there was, in 1960, there was a scandal between GE and Westinghouse, I think, for price fixing. So they fired all those executives, and that's when my father became the youngest general manager GE's ever had, because he was the guy with a white hat. So he had to move. But my older brother was going to be a senior in high school. No, maybe he was going to be. I think he was going to be a sophomore in high school, and he had some really close friends, and he didn't want to leave town. So we moved to the new city, which was several hours, so not just a 4 or 5 hour drive away. But anyway, and he stayed with friends of ours, with one of his best friends, in their home with their family for the year, for that school year. And the rest of us moved because we were younger, and it was no big. I think I was going into 7th grade, which would have been a change from elementary to junior high. So to me, I was going to change schools anyway. But for him, they stayed with his family for that year, for that school year. Worked out great, and he was happy, and they were happy, and everything worked out. But again, this is what people used to do. But again, she's got a boyfriend. Please, you're killing me. Let's see. Some birthdays. Should we do a couple of birthdays?
Sure.
Here? How are we doing? We
got a few more minutes. Yeah.
Barry Gordy, the Motown guy, is 93 years old today. Was he the founder of Motown, basically, or one of the originators?
Yeah.
Randy Newman, short people got no reason to live.
Ragtime.
And what was the one? L.A. What the hell was the song
I
about
Love
L.A.?
LA.
I Love L.A. That was a great song,
got a
actually.
lot of
He's a
movie stuff. Yeah.
Very talented guy. Randy Newman is 79 today.
Ragtime, one of the best soundtracks of all time.
Paul Schaefer is 73. Former, was it Letterman? Letterman guy. Ed Harris, the actor. Great actor, 72 years old. Jon Stewart, the comedian who's now become a political activist, basically, 60 today. Former Brat Packard type guy, Judd Nelson, the actor, 63. Chase Elliott, race car driver, 27. Wow. I forgot how young those guys are. You remember S. Epatha Merkerson from Law & Order, Lieutenant Van Buren, and also in Chicago Med. She's 70. Gary Hart. Oh, you think I'm cheating on my wife? I dare you to follow me. Go ahead. So they did, and got him aboard Monkey Business, the name of the boat, with his girlfriend, Donna Rice, who became a nun or something later. Anyway, of course, she became like a religious.
No,
something
she's married. She's married. She's religious. She's married.
Yeah. Anyway, Gary Hart is 86, and that cost him the presidency. And again, Gary Hart and the guy from
Dukakis,
Peter Dukakis, or Michael Dukakis, and Lurch, the guy
Kerry,
John Kerry, and the senator from Utah.
No.
Udall? Yeah, no. The famous one, everybody hated. The Republican we all hate because he's an asshole.
Romney.
Mitt Romney. They all look the same.
Yeah,
they all look the same. Gary Hart looked like Jack Kennedy, and he wanted to be Jack Kennedy.
He looked like Robert Redford being Jack.
Like the movies, exactly.
Yeah.
And that same look, just like the California Governor Newsom, has got that same look, same hair, same frame. I mean, it's exactly the same. Anyway, that cost Gary Hart, and he was a very, very popular
he would have beaten
candidate.
Dukakis.
Yeah.
I think.
He would have killed Dukakis. But they followed him to Bimini, or was it? I forgot where it was, but they caught him on the boat with his girlfriend, Mary Elizabeth Swango. Do you know that name?
Nope.
You know who she is?
Nope.
She's 39 years old. Mary Elizabeth Swango played Nikki in the third season of Fargo, the bridge player parolee chick with a black-haired chick who was such a tough chick, and she was involved with the murder of the third season of Fargo with the twin brothers.
What's her name?
Mary Elizabeth Swango.
No, that's not her name.
Yes, her name on the show was Nikki.
Yeah, but her name's not Swango.
I'm telling you.
First of all, she married the guy from Star Wars, the Scottish guy. She married him, but that wasn't her name. Her name was Mary Elizabeth something, and she was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World and a bunch of other stuff.
It up. She was that tough.
Her name's not Swango, though. I think Swango was her name in Fargo, and they've got it confused.
Oh, that could be.
Let me look her up here for a second, because she's. Yeah. I thought she was hot.
I
thought she should have been
dangerous. She was trouble. And that is very sexy to a lot of guys. I mean, she looks dangerous.
I thought her name was Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Is her real name. Swango is probably the Fargo name.
Isn't that funny? They put Swango.
She's from Texas, and I thought she'd be a perfect Nora if they ever did the Thin Man series again. She would have been a perfect Nora.
She's a tough chick.
She is.
Sexy and mean looking.
What's the Scottish actor's name in Star Wars? He's Obi-Wan
or something.
Not Ian McKellen's gay.
I don't know.
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
Oh, he's the little short guy? She's probably 6 inches taller.
Well, they had an
than
affair, and he left his wife and kids for her.
Well, he was one in Fargo, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Yeah.
So they had an affair because doing the Fargo thing, and he left. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And it was a big stink, too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's 39.
And then they broke up after he broke up his family for her, and then they got back together.
Oh, my.
It's really weird.
Oh, no, you don't want to go back together with those things. No,
I'd get back together with her.
Right, fine. Plus, she had another man who would want her now. Well, you're dirty now. You're filthy. I can't touch you now. In the...
Not even with a 10-foot pole you can get from Flagco.
Nope, you had your chance. The series Dexter.
Yes.
Do you remember the year that Batista's, I think it was his little sister, Jamie, was Dexter's nanny for his son?
Oh, yeah.
Little Spanish chick.
Yeah.
Oh, so hot.
So
God.
hot.
And she got involved with that psychopath, one of the murderers. He was on porn. She caught him looking at porn. Dexter set him up. Anyway, she was Dexter's son's nanny. Cute little, like a Spanish chick, Amy Garcia. She's 44 today. She is very, very hot. A couple of historical things. Do you want have any sponsorships you want to mention here before I do the history thing?
I then done. You did Wise RV, right? Or did you
I have not done Wise RV.
Well, let's do Wise RV.
Well, I was going to do Wise RV, and I'll do it right after the history. Wise RV Glass. Again, this is what a great idea for a company.
What a great transition.
Wise RV Glass is a company that will take care of you if you have an RV, motor coach, camper, stuff like that, with any kind of a glass issue. You may have maybe a cracked windshield or one of those little spider web nicks or something like that. Even a fogged up double pane window. No job is too big or too small, and that's important to remember. Even if you have some of the campers have a very hard to find one-piece flat front windshield. They can take care of that for you too. Even the rear view mirrors, side mirrors, and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, I'm not going to call somebody to come fix a side view." No, that's what they do. That's what they do. They and it's all mobile. They come to where you are, use your own customer window frame, save you time and money. All mobile service. No job is too small or too big. All of North Georgia, all of Metro Atlanta. Wise, W-I-S-E, Wise RV Glass. Their dad, Carl, retired a little bit ago, and Russell's taken over the company, doing a great job. These folks will be there for you. They not only sponsor the Kimmer Show podcast, but also the podcast Facebook page. Wise RV Glass. Here's the phone number, area 470-345-6521, and on the web, wiservglass.com.
All right. You want to know the difference between generations?
I do.
Went over there, and he's got a nice little globe. It's got the Grinch in it. It's a snow globe.
Christmas snow globe. The Grinch who stole Christmas Grinch? Okay.
And I said, I got one at home. It's an old-fashioned, real heavy glass. It's got Charlie Brown and Snoopy
Weighs
in there.
about 8 pounds.
And you shake it up, and the snow goes everywhere.
Flies in,
He reaches over and touches the button, and it just starts going,
oh, that's not
right. Show everybody. Yeah, how lazy is this generation? They can't even shake a snow globe.
Oh, my God.
It's light as a feather. It's made of plastic.
It squirrels them up from the bottom. That's not how snow falls.
Yeah, you're supposed to take it from the top. And
oh, my God. I mean, Flounder, we're not blaming you. This is not your fault. Really. You understand? We're not giving hate to Flounder.
Lollygaggers.
We love you in every way, but that's a bunch of bullshit. You don't have a... Well, it is. That's anti-Christmas right there.
That's an indictment of all that's holy.
I mean, the old-fashioned snow globe, you go like this, and it snows all over the place.
Yeah.
And it slowly trickles down.
You get a workout doing it.
Yeah.
Real men.
Get a button that goes up from the btom like some leaf blower.
You can use it as a weapon, too. It's bam.
Heavy, maybe about 8 pounds.
Good Lord.
Yeah, anyway. All right, a couple of historical notes here if we have just a minute. Yeah. 1942, a disaster that changed safety laws in America. Coconut Grove, a former speakeasy in Boston, was a nightclub famous for its artificial palm trees and decorations. And when a canopy caught fire, it spread to flammable drapes, blocked doorways, and poor design that trapped and killed almost 500 people. As a result of the Coconut Grove fire, laws changed to ban flammable decorations and required all swinging exit doors to open outwards. And all exit signs have to be visible at all times. Think about how the doors would not open out. Right. When you're trying to flee, they had to pull it and nobody could get out.
Right. And, of course, those laws helped save all those people at the Whitesnake concert.
Yeah, the Whitesnake, where they used all the artificial...
just next door there.
Of course, they did get caught not following procedures.
Of course, lighting fire displays inside a 10-foot room.
And again, wasn't it one guy loaded the explosives, then somebody else said, I better load the explosives, and they put him in twice by mistake? I think that's what happened.
Really?
I think the guy did it, and then he said, well, I forgot to load the explosives. Somebody else came by, and it set everything on fire.
Let me get this straight. On the rock and roll show, somebody was paying attention and did their job so well. Did it twice
to make sure.
And it killed people.
Yeah, they all died.
By the way, great listener of the show, Preston Holcomb, great percussionist, drummer.
We get Preston writes in response all the time. Preston, God bless you, sir. Thank you so much.
He was with Blackberry Smoke. They played the Fox Friday night. Everybody says
cool.
I couldn't go because crazy stuff going on, but everyone said it was a triumph. It was fantastic. It was a full house. And Preston says, I grew up going to shows there. And to be on that stage, looking out at he said it was surreal, it was emotional, it was amazing.
And that theater anyway is...
I would love to be on that stage. I saw so many shows. I saw, who's the actor that did Mark Twain for so many years?
Oh, the guy from the boat story up in Korea.
What was his name?
Married to the girl from Dixie.
Yeah, Dixie from...
oh, God, I hate this. He was
all right, I need a reference.
Look up Mark...
The boat commander from Tuxedo 401. What the hell was it? The Pueblo.
No, you got to find it there. Look up Mark Twain show.
Oh, God.
Mark
right
Twain show. I know who it is.
I can mention all of his dialogue.
My dad taking me to see George Carlin at the Fox and saying, don't tell your mother about this. Who was his name?
Yeah, because I remember I used to grow up. We'd always see the Nutcracker during the
God, I
Christmas
almost said
times because it was always played
Now they've
there.
moved it to the Civic Center. Last time I saw it.
But I would always see, because Widespread Panic played there for New Year's growing up.
You're not going to tell us who it is.
I need a reference.
He's
gonna
giving
tell
it
us.
up.
I Googled Mark Twain show and nothing came up.
Okay, hold on a second. I'll tell you who it is.
God.
It starts with an
He's married to
H.
Dixie on the TV show.
It starts with an H, and as soon as we say
Hal
it,
Holbrook.
Hal Holbrook. Absolutely. Yeah, very good. Very good. Very good.
I got it with one letter.
You got it.
I can
One
name
letter.
that name in one letter.
Okay, Mark says he has a snow globe with Darth Vader in it. I don't think Mark's grasping the concept.
No, he doesn't understand the whole theory. It used to be like Santa and the North Pole, and the reindeer.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And a wolf scene where they were mauling some Eskimo
yeah,
or
it's
something.
just eating the flesh off of whatever. This was a day in 1994. Jeffrey Dahmer screams his way to hell while cleaning a toilet. He was beaten to death by a fellow inmate, Christopher Scarver. They were housed at the Columbia Correctional Facility in Wisconsin, which was the first to abolish the death penalty in 1853, which is why Dahmer was not given the death penalty.
They didn't
have
tell
one.
Gentleman Scarver.
They
obviously.
forgot to tell Mr. Scarver. Mr. Scarver was himself serving a 25-year sentence for armed robbery turned murder. The staff was worried about Dahmer getting there because they knew people wanted to get to him. They believe that killing the state's most notorious murderers, authorities believe killing him might earn a convict an honored place in the prison world. Later, they said it was okay for him to be with the other 620 inmates. Somebody tried to kill him in July 1992 with a plastic knife and tried to slash his throat, but it didn't work. Dahmer was known to upset his fellow inmates. He would taunt other inmates with prison food he fashioned to look. I don't know whether this is in the series. Jeffrey Dahmer would taunt other inmates with prison food, which he would fashion to look like severed limbs, drizzling on packets of ketchup to look like blood. He'd put them where places where people would be. He crossed the line with prisoners and prison staff. Scarver tried to steer clear of him, but always kept a news clipping detailing the cannibal's crimes. Scarver once suspected Jeffrey Dahmer had prodded him in the back, and he snapped. He grabbed a metal bar from the weight room, confronted Jeffrey Dahmer about his crimes. I asked him if he did those things because I was fiercely disgusted. He said, yes, he was. He started looking for the door pretty quick. I blocked him. 2 swings of the bar to Dahmer's head were all it took. Crushed his skull. Dahmer was pronounced dead an hour after getting to the hospital. He ended up dead. I put his head down, Scarver said of the slaying, while they were cleaning toilets.
He must have been a big dude because Dahmer worked out. Dahmer
Yeah.
was in shape. So,
Well,
he was kicked out of the Army?
Dahmer was?
Dahmer was kicked out.
I
His
didn't know
dad
that.
put him in the Army because he flunked out of Ohio State. So his dad
Wow.
says, you're going to the Army now. And they kicked him out of the Army because he was, according to the
ate a
series, he was drugging his fellow Army people and
Jesus.
doing stuff with them.
Scumbag, man. There's always one scumbag. 1995, President Bill Crooked Stick Rapemeister, Bill Clinton, ends the federal 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. It began in 1974 to save energy during the oil embargo. I remember those days well. I remember Governor Jimmy Carter giving a news conference that the state had to go to a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit on that day. 2001, the beginning of the end for Enron. Enron shares went from over $90 to less than $1. A bailout plan failed a week later. Enron filed for bankruptcy. Later, we found out that key executives knew it was going to happen and dumped their shares while telling investors to buy, buy, buy. And, of course, then the cops came.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because do you hear what the Wall Street Journal did to try and cover up this Sam Bankman-Fried?
The headline, the meme of the head. Yeah, read somebody sent the meme. The original headline of the Wall Street Journal said this.
Well, we did this. We did that last week. The fact that they were basically saying he couldn't give his philanthropic stuff
he
away.
Lost his.
And someone changed the headline to say, no, he cost people money.
Stole their money. Yeah.
Stole their money, basically. Here's what the Wall Street Journal says. FTX failed because Sam Bankman-Fried's supporters lost confidence in him. That may be how Donald Trump, they had to tie him because he's been tied to the Democrats.
Yeah, right.
So they have to tie him to Trump now.
Big Democratic. Then number 2 to George Soros, Democrat tie. Yeah.
That may be how Donald Trump finally crashes and burns too, writes Alicia Finley. They literally had to tie him in some nebulous way. So guess what? Guess who fact-checked him? Elon Musk. FTX is bankrupt because of a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information amid allegations of theft. Outside the editor's opinion, no apparent connection between SBF and former President Donald Trump exists.
Unbelievable.
That's the Wall Street Journal doing that shit.
That's right. Well, we know where they stand. I mean, we know.
And they're Murdoch owned.
Yeah. 1922, Captain Cyril Turner of the Royal Air Force gave a demonstration over Times Square in New York City of the first public skywriting. His airplane spelled out, "Hello, USA, call Vanderbilt 7200. By the way, how do they do skywriting? I mean, to be able to, I mean, I know they have a button on the plane, but still, I mean, it's amazing to be able to keep your wits about you. And there's got to be like a map graph thing in the plane to let you know when you should be going left, right, or up, but it's still, it's amazing.
No GPS, all in his head.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I don't know how they do it.
I don't either.
And of course, it's got to be a great day for it, no wind and stuff. But still, how they, I mean, and this, what a sentence! Hello, USA, call Vanderbilt 7200.
And here we are, 100 years later, and I guarantee you, if you're out somewhere and a plane's doing that, everybody stops and watches.
Oh, I guarantee it. When's the last time you saw skywriting?
I think the Wicked Witch of the West did it on a broom and surrender Dorothy, I think.
I think the last time was probably within the last 20 years down on the beach in either Cabo or Florida or someplace for spring break or whatever it was. But that's now actually that's mostly pulling banners behind small planes on the beach over the beach. But I don't know when the last time is I saw.
Have you ever seen that flounder skywriting?
No, I have not.
No, it's kind of
I've seen it, but I don't remember when. It was so long ago.
Been a long time.
I'll bet you it's 50 years.
It's impressive.
It's hard to believe. 2006, 39-year-old Pamela Anderson confirmed she had split from Kid Rock. Their marriage lasted 4 months. There was no mention on her website whether she might have missed anything from Tommy Lee, but again, I don't. 2010. Airplane and Naked Gun superstar Leslie Nielsen died from pneumonia at age 84 on this day in 2010. His family said that Leslie Nielsen loved fart jokes so much that they included the words, "Let her rip," on his tombstone. And was it Leslie Nielsen, when they gave him the script, he went to his kids and he said, "Why am I?" And the kids, "No, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it."
Resurrected his career.
Absolutely. 1974. God, my teeth are killing me. God.
Just a few.
Sorry.
Few left.
Last one. 1974. Elton John convinced John Lennon to perform on stage for the first time in years. 1974. Lennon said, "Okay, I'll do it if our duet song, Whatever Gets You Through the Night, hits #1. It did hit #1, so John Lennon did the concert with Elton John at Madison Square Garden on this day in 1974. It would turn out to be his last concert appearance.
That's sad.
Yeah, very sad. Anyway.
All right. I wonder, Stefan says, I wonder if people paying $300 for our colon cleanse even know about Taco Bell's $4.99 deal.
Do the Taco Bell thing and a couple of shots of tequila, you're all set, I promise you.
I tell you what, those Pete Davidson ads for that breakfast thing they got going, that looks tasty.
I saw.
You can go get one of those. Like they have something like that at Moe's though. Moe's or
I don't like being yelled at when I come in to get my food.
All right, well,
seriously, I don't want people yelling at me.
Go to Willie's. Willie's has those.
Willie's sucks.
No,
there's a Willie's up by Trader Joe's. I went in there. Everything was cold. It was two guys behind the counter. What do you want? I want a burrito. And it was literally cold when I got it. So they can kiss my butt, too.
Is it the one at Trader Joe's right there? Right before,
Roswell Road.
Yeah, I haven't been to that one, but the one I go to is great. It's always good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you that. There's one further down toward Atlanta on Roswell Road that actually was very tasty. They were very friendly. It may not have been a Willie's or whatever. It may be
no, because the one at Trader Joe's is a Willie's.
There's one down by a Ace Hardware further down. That's a lot better. Very nice. Gosh,
but again, I think
Mexican now.
Similar to Moe's, those places are locally owned, or they have like ownership or whatever. So a lot of the times it's not the
Bad Text Theater time. Bad Text Theater time. Bad Text Theater time.
All right, sir.
All right, let's see where we are here. All right, there's that one there.
Oh,
Where are we?
Is it the one under the Karen?
Oh God, that doesn't. What date does it say on it?
November 13th.
November 13th. We're really up there. Wow.
I mean, I could be wrong. Well, no. Actually, wait. No, we're not there yet. You're right.
All right. Yeah, it's before or after Jerry Lee Lewis died.
Shit, hold on.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're right. It's right after Karen. Okay, there's one about the sister. And then we got this one.
You want to do the one, or let's...
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do the one with the kids talking. Like a man talking to his child. It's right after the one we just did about the you're going to have a sister in 9 months. Remember that? It's a long one. That's what she
Okay,
said.
so...
It's my kid. And
Okay,
me.
gotcha.
All right. Are you going to be my kid or me?
I guess I'll be me.
All right. I'm the kid. I feel like you're always making up rules and stuff.
Like what?
Like if I don't clean my room, a portal will open and take me to another dimension.
Well, that's what happened to your older brother.
What older brother?
Exactly.
If you can't scare your kids once in a while, there's really no fun in having them at all.
Well, there's a great meme where the mother's sitting on the bed and the little girl's got the covers all the way up, and she goes, "Mommy, can I come sleep with you tonight? There's a monster in my closet." And she goes, "No, honey, it might follow you in there to me."
No, honey, sorry. All right, boys, final thoughts? Oh, we got to figure out about our podcast thing.
I don't care.
We'll leave it up to you because you're the one with the issues, so we'll.
How many times have I heard that in my life? You're the one with the issues.
Well, we want to be flexible for your, whatever we can do to make things happier for everybody. We'll do that. We'll let you decide. Okay. In other words, or whatever. Hoorah, Semper Fi. I definitely got to go. You're killing me. And we'll see you again next time. Here, Herp, and Herp. Look out. Here we go. Thank you all. God bless you. Thank you.